And hello everybody, good evening and welcome. We are here today for the live playthrough of The Path to Carcosa. This is the start of the next Arkham Horror game that we're playing. If you are watching this live and you are in the chat, please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. This is the last you're going to see of me and Andy because we're going to switch to the overhead camera where you will be able to see the chat and everything that's going on. So I'm going to switch over now. And yeah, please let me know in the chat if you can hear me, see me, and everything is going out okay. We have the microphones on. It should all be working fine. I will carry on talking until somebody in the chat says it's all working okay. If you don't want any spoilers, please switch off now. Thank you very much for tuning in, but there is going to be spoilers. We are going to be playing through The Path to Carcosa, which is campaign 3. Yeah. Night of the Zealot is the first one. The Dunwich Horror is the second one. Video and audio is good. Excellent. Thank you very much. And The Path to Carcosa is officially the third campaign. None of us have played this before. So this is going to be a voyage into the unknown for all of us. And as I say, if you don't want any spoilers, yeah, switch off. I'm going to assume the people watching this have already played through this campaign, and you just want to see us bumble our way through. Now, the reason why there is a big black bar on the left-hand side is there is going to be a bar there with all of our characters. However, I forgot to replace it beforehand from the last time we played Night of the Zealot. So I've quickly got rid of it with a big black bar, which is why you can see a big black bar on screen. The other thing, I've been having issues with the lighting. Everything seems to be very, very bright. I'm going to try and drop it down a bit more because everything definitely looks way too bright. But then again, everything is now starting to look a bit too dark. But then again, yeah, there's not much I can do. I don't know why it's gone too bright. But anyway, you will notice a change from the last time we played. We have some nice play mats. These were given to us for basically to use on the stream. So yeah, thank you very much to the company that made me these, whose name I did remember and then I have just forgotten. So apologies for that. I'm going to very quickly look it up. It's on here. I looked it up like an hour ago, and I have completely forgotten who sent them to me. So if they're watching this in the chat, then I do apologise.
It does look amazing.
It does look good.
Yeah, very nice.
It is Power Plant Games. That was it. I knew it was something unusual that didn't seem like, thematically tight. So Power Plant Games. They do these Arkham playmats. They've done a crowdfunding campaign. If you're interested, go to powerplantgames.com. We're using 2 of them. So each playmat is a 2-player playmat. And obviously we've got 2 of them put together, and that's us. Right, okay. So, mats look great. Yeah, excellent. So we're going to start. We've chosen our characters. We've done the deck building. Other than that, we haven't done anything. So, Path to Carcosa. This is the bit where I read lots of stuff out. Have you seen the yellow sign? He mentioned the establishment of the dynasty in Carcosa, the lakes which connected Hastur, Aldebaran, and the mystery of the Hyades. He spoke of Casilda and Camilla and sounded the cloudy depths of Demhi and the Lake of Hali. That's a little bit of a quote from Robert W. Chambers, the repairer of reputations. Right. New rules for this one. Hidden. Some encounter cards that you're going to find in this game will have the keyword hidden. Hidden cards have revelation abilities that secretly add them to your hand. This should be done without revealing the card or its text to the other investigators. While a hidden card is in your hand, treat it as if it was in your threat area. Its constant abilities are active. The abilities on it can be triggered, but only by you. And a hidden card counts towards your hand size, but it cannot be discarded from your hand by any means except those described on the card. When discarded, hidden cards are placed in the encounter discard pile. They do not remain a part of your deck like weaknesses do. And for the best experience, players are encouraged to stay in character and not share information about their hidden cards. This is why we got advised by a couple of people that this isn't the best campaign to do for a live stream. Because you will be drawing cards that you can't actually then talk about.
Right.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Right. There is an extra character that you can play, which I'm playing, which is Lola. Lola can play different roles, and at the beginning of each scenario, I choose whether I'm being neutral, guardian, seeker, rogue, mystic, or survivor. Now, Rick has very nicely made me these nice little tokens. Thank you very much, Rick. Which I will place in front of me to tell everybody which role I am currently playing. However, I need another one, Rick, because I need a neutral one. Because neutral is a role that I can choose. So I choose it at the start of each scenario. I have other ways that I can change roles, and basically I can only play cards or commit cards to tests of the role that I'm on. So if I've chosen Survivor, I can only play Survivor cards at that point. But I can switch roles and then play other cards.
Tricky.
Yeah, so that's for me. Can somebody repeat the site where the mats are from? Powerplantgames.com. I'll put a link in the show notes when it goes out. Right. More rules. We have doubt and conviction. So some story resolutions. I don't think this is going to happen immediately, but at the end of the scenario, we are going to have doubt or conviction. We have a campaign log, which again is printed out by Rick for us. Thank you very much. And we have doubt and we have conviction. They are new things that we're going to have to track. Later in the campaign, some scenarios may be changed or altered based on whether we have more doubt than conviction or more conviction than doubt. So that's going to apply to us later on, but doesn't at the minute. And the other new thing that was introduced in Carcosa is story cards. This is a new type of card, and I believe these were really popular, so I think all future campaigns have used these, but Dunwich didn't. Additional narrative and typically appear as the reverse side of another scenario card. When you are instructed to resolve a story card, read its story text. It's basically extra text, extra narrative and flavour. Right, campaign setup, choosing investigators, we've done that. Building the deck, we've done that. Choosing the difficulty level, easy, obviously.
Yeah, gotta be.
And now the prologue. You turn over the folded programme in your hand, reading it for what seems like the 100th time. Miskatonic Playhouse presents The King in Yellow, it reads. A special one-night engagement at Arkham's very own Ward Theatre. An irresistible drama in 2 acts. Production staged and directed by Nigel Engram. The cast is an ensemble, with an unattributed credit at the end, The Stranger. To have such a highly anticipated play come to Arkham all the way from Paris is a noteworthy event, even if it's just for one night. For weeks leading up to the show, it was the talk of the town. It seemed so unassuming, and yet you have evidence something sinister is at work. It started with the disappearance of one of the stagehands at the theatre, a boy of only 17 who missed rehearsal one night and was never seen again. Then, less than 2 weeks before the performance, there was the musician whose corpse was found with a gun in its mouth. Perhaps most chilling was the crazed man the coppers had picked up in Independence Square who had been ranting and raving about the King's return. He was brought to Arkham Asylum, and you were surprised to discover that he was not alone in his delusions. Finding these events suspicious, you and your companions have delved deeper into the matter. Although no connection can be proven, these weren't the only strange events surrounding the up-and-coming play. Instances of suicide and madness have followed in its wake, and you are determined to discover why. The lights in the auditorium dim, and a spotlight shines on the stage. What unfolds is not quite what you expected. Slow-paced and monotonous, the first act of The King in Yellow is a tedious bore. The setting and characters are compelling, but the meandering and nonsensical story does little to entertain or inform. You begin to wonder whether the dreadful events surrounding The King in Yellow aren't connected after all. Perhaps it was just your overactive imagination. How could such a trivial and unassuming show cause such pandemonium? You are surprised when the first act closes without any rising, action or revelation. The lights rise for the intermission, and you consider leaving early, stifling a yawn. Before you are able to decide, however, you find yourself drifting to sleep. If Lola Hayes was chosen as an investigator, that investigator reads the Lola Prologue out loud. Lola Prologue. Act 1 came and went without a hitch, as it often did in rehearsal. You couldn't help but note the blank, dismissive expressions on many of the audience's members' faces, and you wonder how many of the audience will react to the play's disturbing second half. The role of Casilda is tiresomely boring for the first half of the play, although you enjoy portraying her regal charm. You find yourself missing your previous co-star, Miriam Twain, and suddenly the dread and regret you had felt in Paris comes flooding back. With a sigh, You retreat to a dark corner backstage to escape the sounds of stagehands preparing for the next scene. You try to quell your emotions and replace your thoughts with those of Casilda's, her hopes, her fears, her fate. Just then you catch the stranger staring at you from afar, and you find yourself shaking at the mere sight of him. Even though they continue to replace the actor who plays the stranger before each show, and indeed many times during rehearsals, you know that this last-minute replacement is the most horrid of them all. Realising you never caught his name, a shiver of terror courses through your spine. Have you found your way back to the wolves like a lost lamb? You cannot look away. His gaze is inescapable. Everything goes black. Right, scenario 1 is Curtain Call. So this is scenario 1 of 8. All the big campaigns are 8 scenarios which we play in order. So scenario 1. You awaken with a start, as though shaken by an unseen force. You must have slept for quite some time, for there are only a few other patrons in the audience, and no performers on stage. The lights are dimmed, and the stage curtains are tattered and ripped, though you do not remember that being the case during the first act. You wait a moment before you are sure that this isn't part of the performance. As you wait, a foul but unrecognisable smell permeates the air. How long have you been asleep? Shaking off your drowsiness, you walk toward one of the seated patrons and ask for the time, but he does not respond. It is then you realise that you are speaking to a corpse. Right, setup. Gather all the cards from the following encounter sets. I've done that. We have Curtain Call, which is the scenario. Evil Portents, which is new, so we've no idea what's in that. Delusions, which is new.
Right.
Hauntings, which is new. Cult of the Yellow Sign, which is new. Striking Fear we've had before. And Rats that we've had before. So there's a few cards that we've already dealt with in here. Set the following cards aside and out of play. The Man in the Pallid Mask, and I'm not going to look at these. Royal Emissary. Oh, these are return to cards. We don't need these. Yeah, so we don't need those. Don't need those, because I've got the return to Carcosa as well. For when you've defeated this, you can play it again even harder. Each copy of Lobby Doorway and each copy of Backstage Doorway. Right, Backstage Doorway, Backstage Doorway, Lobby Doorway, Lobby Doorway, Lobby Doorway. Okay, so they get put aside. Put the theatre, theatre, lobby, balcony and backstage locations into play. Right, somebody wants to do that, and we have the little arrows. I'm just going to move the chat. Oh, there we go. Right, yeah, that's fine. So what have we got? We can spread these out a bit if we need to.
And it can go there.
So the balcony goes to the theatre and the lobby.
The lobby can go back there. And it goes here. And it goes...
That's a bit of a...
Are we all two-way? That's not in play yet.
Yeah.
So the lobby can go to the theatre and to the balcony. The balcony can go to the theatre and the lobby. Backstage can only go to the theatre.
It should go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theatre... No, so theatre can't go to the balcony.
No.
Interesting. So you can go from the balcony to the theatre.
Yeah, jump down from
You
the
can
balcony.
jump down from the balcony.
And that can go to there.
Yeah.
Can't go back.
Oh, I like it.
There you go. Right, so that is the initial setup. Shall we maybe do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you think.
Just so it's a bit more spread out. Right.
I like the idea of the balcony bit at the top and you jump down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Lola Hayes was chosen as an investigator for this campaign, she begins at backstage instead. Everybody else begins at the theatre. Now, we're using the same meeples as last time, so you want to be the blue one.
Yep.
You probably want to be the purple one.
Yep.
You want to be the yellow one, and I'll be the red one. So I'm backstage,
And we're all in the theatre, was it?
and everybody's in the theatre.
Cool.
So I'm just going to read the theatre, which says, must have been one hell of an intermission. And then we reveal it because you are there. To say that the theatre is in disarray would be a profound understatement. The walls and seats, previously polished to a shine, are cracked and caked with dirt. The curtains are tattered, and the set is stained with old blood. You aren't sure what's worse, the smell of rot or the nagging feeling that you've been asleep for a very long time. So we have a shroud value of 2, but no clues there. And my location, backstage. The set is different from what you remember of the play's first act, decorated with a backdrop of an unsettling sunset. Fourth, when backstage is revealed, put 2 of the set-aside backstage doorway locations into play at random. So normally, if Lola wasn't in play, you would have to move here to do this. What else? While you are at backstage, each hidden treachery card in your hand counts as 3 cards instead of 1 for the purposes of your hand size.
Wow. For everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone while they're backstage.
There is 1 clue there. That's these little fellas, isn't it? Do you want to pick 2 of those at random? Okay, and they go into play. Read the act and agenda cards. Yes, I will. Oh, there's a recommended layout.
Do they not go the
That's
other way
fine.
up because we're not there
Yeah.
yet?
So they do. Luckily, I didn't read them, didn't it?
And they are connected.
So you can go there.
Yeah. 2-way arrows between them. Yeah, there is a suggested location placement, but we've done it our own way. That's fine. Shuffle the remaining encounter cards, which are these. Yeah. Do you want to do a pile shuffle of those into like 4 or 5 piles because they are all grouped together? Do not read until the end of the scenario. Right. So we've got rid of that. We can now read the agenda. The theatre is eerily silent. The old wooden floor creaks beneath your feet, and a light rain gently patters on the roof as you explore the auditorium. There are more rotting corpses among the seats, and the rest of the crowd has vanished. 6 doom, and that advances. Meanwhile, awakening. Act 1A. You pinch yourself to see if you're dreaming, and sure enough, your skin stings and reddens. You take a few deep breaths and try to think rationally. Whatever is going on, you must explore the theatre to learn the truth of the matter. So we need 12 clues to advance this. There is no specific requirements for advancement, so I think it's just once we have 12 clues, we advance in the middle of somebody's turn. We are playing on easy level, so to let you know what's in the deck, or in the bag, a skull token is -1, or -3 if you have 3 or more horror. And the other tokens are not in the bag yet.
Okay.
But the cultist token, the tablet, and the tentacle are not in there. Sorry, the elder thing. They're not in there.
Okay.
Which is interesting. But if you're playing on a more difficult level...
They probably would.
Yeah, but if you're playing on a more difficult level, you'd have that side. Let's just check the setup again. I think we got it right.
Put the elder one in.
No, we put the auto-fail, whatever that's called.
The,
Also
yeah.
fell, and then there was the
Elder sign.
elder
Yeah,
sign.
yeah. It's the heart icon.
Oh yes,
I
the
can't
heart
remember what
isn't
that's
in
called.
there.
That's not in. No. So those ones there are not in the bag at the moment. Oh, that is very bright, isn't it? Yeah. I'll try and do something with the lights next time to see if I can cut down on the reflection. But I think we're all ready to go. We've shuffled our decks. We've done everything. Alan, who's playing Mark Harrigan, has decided that you're lead investigator. Let's just go through our special abilities so we know what we can all do and what we've got. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So my one is, after damage is placed on a card you control, draw 1 card, and there's a limit of once per phase
Okay.
for that one. And then the Elder Sign effect is +1 for each damage on Mark Harrigan.
Okay.
And then I also start with Sophie in play. So at any point I can take 1 direct damage, and I get +2 to a skill test
Okay.
for doing that. However, if there is at any point 5 or more damage on Mark, I flip it,
Oh, right.
and it becomes a weakness,
Okay.
whereby I get -1 to each of my skill tests.
For each damage.
No, just,
just
-1
-1
to
to each
all
of your
skill
skill
tests.
tests.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then if I go below 5 damage, it flips back.
Right. So that's a permanent card in play. That's an
Permanent.
advantage until you get really wounded,
And then it's a disadvantage.
and then it's a disadvantage. And you are 9 health,
9 health and 5
5 sanity, and you're good at fighting.
Yes, 5 fighting, 5 strength.
Right.
To start.
Okay. Emily.
Mine is, after an investigator at your location commits a card to a skill test, that card gains a question mark icon until the end of the test. But there's a limit of once for each investigator per round.
So any card that we commit to a test while we're at your location, or is it your skill tests?
No, after an investigator at your location.
Right.
So it's any investigator.
So skill cards get better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Can I have a quick read of that?
Yeah.
Well, I'll do that.
And what are you good at? What's your skills? I guess you're good at books, intellect.
I've got 4, 4, 2, 2.
Oh right, so you're good at willpower and books.
Yeah.
And bad at everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Right.
don't want to be fighting.
Right, I got Akashi, who is a willpower-based character. 6 health, 8 horror. The special ability is assets with charges enter play with an additional charge on.
So spells and stuff like that.
Yep, and the that is also the effect that I get if I draw the special symbol out of the bag is +1 charge to an asset with charges I control. However, I've got a weakness of starting the game with 2 fewer resources.
Okay. That's your basic weakness, isn't it?
Yeah.
And your stats? 5 willpower.
Yeah, 5 willpower. The
So-
rest is pretty rubbish.
Spell castings.
Yeah.
So I'm Lola, I'm the actress. All of my stats are 3. And I have 6 health and 6 sanity. But after I choose my opening hand, I choose a roll. And I can only play, commit, trigger abilities on neutral cards or that of my roll. But as a fast action, once per round, I can switch rolls. So it's not really a special ability as such.
No.
The flexibility in Lola is that I can build my deck with cards of any class up to level 3. And I can switch rolls to decide what I want to play.
Right.
The Elder Sign effect for me is pretty good. It's +2 and I can switch rolls.
Oh.
Okay. So Scott is asking who built each deck. We all built our own decks with various bits of advice from various places. Mine is by far the worst. Ricky's saying with Min, it's not just skill cards, it's when you commit any card to a skill test. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Right, are we ready? I think we are.
Yeah.
So we draw our 5 cards. Remember, you can mulligan if you don't like it. And then after we've done all of this, I get to choose which roll I want.
I'm
Oh.
mulligan all of those.
What happens if I draw my weakness straight away?
You put it to one side
Yeah.
and draw a replacement for that one
Yeah.
before you mulligan.
Right. So I can't.
I have as well.
So I can't. It doesn't. I can't put it straight in.
No.
No.
No, you just put it to one side, you treat it as if you didn't draw it, and then you'll shuffle it back into your deck.
That's a shame. It would have been a good one to draw. now.
Would it? Okay.
That's not a good one to draw at the start, but that is. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Also, that might be a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Ooh. Happy enough. Happy enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do, but there's going to be clues everywhere because we need 12. So there's definitely going to be clues
Mm-hmm.
in certain places.
I'm not going to be finding any of them.
I'm going to get rid of that one for now. And I'm going to get rid of that one for now. And I'm going to keep those 3 and draw 2 more. Okay. Right. Now I've just drawn a card that I think might be mentioned in the taboo list. So for those people watching, we are playing with taboo lists. Yeah, quick thinking. So I've got a card called Quick Thinking, and the mutated ruling, stroke errata, is maximum of 1 committed per test. Yeah, because it's a really good card. Right, so we've done that, we've got our cards, we know what we're going to be doing. I choose a roll. Oh yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? So I'm going to start the game in rogue form. I'm going to sneak around and I'm going to steal your stuff while you're asleep, because that's what rogues do. Heavy mulligan for Min's signature card is the recommendation. So your signature card is really useful. If you didn't draw it, Ricky's saying get rid of all your 5 cards and take another one. But who knows? Who knows? Right. How do you play this game again?
Yeah, I'm hoping you'll tell me.
So, round sequence, and you skip the mythos phase in the first round. So we start off in the investigation phase, which we can take in any order, and then you lay your figure down when you do it. If everybody is doing a bit of a setup round,
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get this clue. It's only 1 clue.
Hey, it's a good start.
It's a good start. I'm Yeah, I mean, I could just. Shall I start?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll go wandering around,
Mhm.
and then we'll see. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put into play Hard Knocks for 2 resources, which I think goes here on these play mats. Yep. I am then going to investigate. So my intellect is 3. That's 3, and I am going to commit a perception card to it to give me +2. So we're going to be using the new bag with tokens that Rick has made for me, which is very, very nice glass bead tokens. So I'm at +2, and I have drawn out a skull, which is -1, so I'm okay. The skull goes in.
Good start.
So I get the clue. Yay! Got a clue. Now and I draw a card as well because it was successful. So that goes to my discard pile. I get to draw a card. I have a third action. Oh, I should have done that. Never mind. In fact, I should have done that. Oh, what am I thinking? Yeah, I meant to do that.
We can rewind.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
live, is it?
No, it's not
No,
live.
no.
No, nobody will know.
No.
Nobody will know at all. I'm going to. I don't really want to move somewhere because this is my last action,
Yeah.
and then I'm too far away from.
See, I
From you
might,
lot.
for my last action, come and
Moving into here
say
will be
hello
fine.
to you.
I'm just going to draw a card as my last action. So that's my go done.
Excellent.
Who wants to go next?
I'm happy to go.
Yeah, fine by me.
So I will play my guard dog for free.
Does your guard dog have a name?
Yeah, Trevor. Trevor the guard dog.
Trevor the guard dog.
He's going down there.
Next time we play, ask him again because might be different name. Can you commit that it's neutral? Oh, I don't know. Go on, carry on playing. I'll check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be wrong.
Then I will play
Yes, I can.
the knife.
You can only play, commit, or trigger abilities on neutral cards or all cards of your role. So why would you ever pick neutral
Yeah,
as a role?
Yeah.
that's weird.
Anyway, that's what it says. Says it on the card.
So,
So yeah.
so then the knife goes down for 1, and then for my final move, I reckon I'll probably move in here with you. We
Sure.
can go exploring.
Yeah. You come
Safety
backstage and
numbers.
find I'm alive.
Yeah.
One of the cast members.
And you've already found a clue
I have.
while I've been fiddling around in there. And then I'll draw a card. No, I'll
As
do that
your-
later.
It's later.
Yeah.
That's later. Sorry,
That's
I'm
later.
jumping the
That's
gun.
later.
John's here. Widescreen question mark. Not sure what you mean. You missed the bit at the start where I said about the black bar. There will be an image there on later streams. And Rick said that's why he didn't make a neutral role token as well. But he does say I can choose the neutral role, but I'm not sure why you would.
Maybe there's a situation where.
There might be. Yeah, there might be. I'm going to read the bit on the other side while you're doing your thing.
Okay, I'll go next. I shall begin by spending 2 for the Holy Rosary. And then I will do an emergency cash for 3.
It's helpful as you lost 2 with your weakness.
Yep, that was a good one to start with.
Mm.
And then I'm going to draw a card for my third action because I haven't really got what I'm after yet. Oh crap!
Is it?
I drew my second Holy Rosary.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I drew my second Hard Knocks as my card. So, right, Emily.
I'm going to get out some medical texts in preparation for,
For-
when
for-
we get home. And a magnifying glass. And I might pick up another card then in that
Okay.
case.
Right, we're all done.
Oh no, I've picked up my.
Oh,
no.
Yeah,
which
the
is.
king in yellow.
That is your signature weakness. So what does it do?
So I've got to put it in my threat area.
So that's here.
Which is over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It can't leave play except through the ability below. And basically, I cannot commit exactly 1 or 2 cards to a skill test.
Okay.
And to get rid of it, after a skill test is successful in which I have committed at least 6 matching skill icons for that test,
No.
I get to discard
So
it.
it's probably there for the game.
But you get a +1. Yeah, because of that ability.
Yeah, so anyone that commits a
Yeah.
skill in your place gets a question mark icon, so that'll give you one of your 6.
Wow.
Wow. Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
limit once per investigator per round.
So you can't, from now on, commit just 1 or 2 cards. You've got to commit
No,
3 or
I've got to
more.
make
Yeah.
3 or more.
Yeah.
Not a good one to draw on your first setup round,
No.
is it?
Okay. Ricky's saying you choose neutral to counteract your weakness. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Who knows? We're all done.
Well,
So-
Rick knows.
Enemy phase. No enemies. So now it's the upkeep phase. So we reset our actions. We all stand up. We all get 1 card and 1 resource. And then you check your hand size.
What's the limit?
8. And now we go to round 2. So Mythos phase. Place 1 Doom on the agenda. And then advance the agenda if the Doom match that, which it doesn't. And then each investigator, starting with the lead investigator, draws and resolves a card. Here we go.
And what's the one I'm not going to read aloud?
The one
Hidden.
that says hidden.
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 Right. The King's Edict. For each cultist enemy in play,
None.
none. Shall I carry on reading that bit? Or?
Yeah, I don't know.
Move 1 clue from that enemy's location to that enemy.
Okay.
Until the end of the round, each cultist enemy in play gets +1 fight for each clue and or doom on it. If no clues are moved by this effect, the King's Edict gains Surge.
Yeah, discard that and draw a new card, basically. If nothing happened because of that card. But that's useful to know.
A swarm of rats.
Excellent.
So that goes into play with you if
with
it's
me in
your
the
threat area. Yeah,
Because there's no specific requirements.
correct.
And Hunter means it will follow
It
me.
will
if I
move
run.
around. Yeah.
Fine. I can take a rat.
A little 1/1 creature.
That's a big boast if ever I heard it.
Yeah, I've got some
Everyone's got to
rats
start
as well.
somewhere.
You got a swarm of rats as well.
Come on, no rats. Frozen in fear.
Yep.
Oh, that's fine. I can test and get rid of it.
It's a good one for you.
Yeah.
You're drawing the perfect cards again. And I found rotting remains. I've seen a dead body. So I have to do a willpower test. So I could commit. Yeah, I'm 3 versus 3. Yeah, I don't want to commit that. Yeah.
I've got no help, I'm afraid.
No, that's fine. 3 versus 3. And for every point I fail, I take a horror, which isn't great. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit this card to the skill test. This is a new one that I've put in because it looks a bit unusual. And I'm going to add 1 to it. Commit to a skill test that you are performing. As an additional cost to commit, you may spend up to 3 resources. And if it succeeds by 1 or more, I gain twice that many resources. Oh.
Mhm.
So I'm going to commit 2 resources to the skill test. So I'm at +1, and I've got to succeed by 1 or more.
Okay.
Here we go. 3 versus 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
+2, and I can
Okay.
switch roles. Do I want to switch roles? See, I can switch roles as a fast action once per round. Yeah, what the heck? I'm going to switch roles. I'm going to become a survivor. But I got +2, which means I get twice that many resources. So I double my resources.
Good deal.
There you go. Done. And I don't take any damage. Awesome. Now, somebody, when I was talking about decks, said I've got to be careful about my squiggle effect and told me to read page 23. So I'm going to do that
Yeah.
while people start taking their next turns.
Turns. Okay.
Okay.
As long as you don't want first turn, then presumably.
I don't think so. It was specifically when I can use that because they were using it incorrectly and cheating, apparently.
I'm going to be useless, so I'll go first.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I shall start by playing Archaic Glyphs. I found a book.
Ooh.
So if I spend an action and discard a card with at least one book icon skill on it, I place a resource on this. If I do it 3 times, I discard this, gain 5 resources, and something goes in the campaign log.
Oh.
Which sounds fun, doesn't it?
So is that basically you're reading a book? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Discard a card with a book icon
Yeah.
means you're spending time
Pretty much.
trying to decode these glyphs.
And since I'm in the same space as whatever thingy's name was,
Min.
Min.
I get an extra question mark icon on anything I dump in, don't I? Or is that just for
Just
skill
read
tests?
that again. I
Is
think
that
it's just for
everything or
skill tests.
For a skill test.
Commit a card to a skill
card
test.
to a
Right.
Yeah.
skill test.
Okay. So for my second action, I'm just going to dump a card with an icon
Can't
on
change
it.
roll in the middle of a test is what Rick's saying. Yeah. There's windows of opportunity when I can use it.
Right.
Alright.
So I'll dump this to get. What shall I use to mark it? One of these.
What does it say?
One resource.
Yeah.
From a token pool. Yeah. There we
Okay.
go. I did some reading.
You did some reading.
Excellent. Brilliant.
And
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
yeah, you're welcome.
Let's put them there.
And then I'll draw a
We
card.
have space. We have loads of space.
Ooh, that's good.
Do you want the next go then, Alan?
Oh, at the end of my turn,
Yeah.
I test willpower.
You didn't do any of those things, did you?
Nope.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going to spend a card in this just to make it that little bit more likely I succeed.
Well, you're 5 versus 3 anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, but I want to use this to cycle through my
Oh,
deck.
okay. Good plan. So you're at +2. Oh, hang on. That needs to go back in.
I'm at +4 now because of that one.
Yeah.
Be upset if I fail.
Yep.
Hey, right.
And you draw a card for the
So that goes. I
Guts.
draw a card, and this goes.
frozen inferior. Gone. Right.
There we go.
Okay. Shall I go next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Since I've got loads of resources.
Makes sense. And then I'll follow you. 'Cause
Okay.
This won't attack you because it's engaged with me.
That is
that
true.
correct?
You can just kick it and then.
I'll let the dog bite it.
Yeah. Are you
Trevor.
you're okay with that?
I think so.
The rats.
It's a 1.
Yeah.
I can take them.
I can give you skill tokens as well.
Well, I am going to play a gravedigger's shovel.
Mm.
Then I put it in my hand. That costs 2 resources. Yeah, basically, I can fight and get +2 fight with it. Or I can discard it to get a clue at my location.
I do.
Which is quite cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured that if we ever come across a location with like a shroud
Right.
value of 10,
Yeah.
just
That's
get rid of
very
that
useful.
one clue.
That's why I nearly picked a couple of evidences, but then
Yeah.
ditched them out of my deck last minute.
So that was my first action. My second action is I'm going to move, and I'm going to move to this one. I'm going to move this backstage doorway here. A simple wooden door leads to the back of the theatre, far from the prying eyes of patrons. Right, flip it over. It's the trap room. Forced. After you reveal the trap room, search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Swarm of Rats and put it into play engaged with you. Or 2 copies if there are 3 or 4 investigators in the game.
So we've got a lot of rats.
And then shuffle the encounter deck if it is searched. Right, there are 4 clues there. Somebody wouldn't mind putting 4 clues on that location. I will search through the encounter deck for the Swarm of Rats because
We've got 2 out already.
there's 2 out already and there isn't any in there. I think there's only 3 in the game. Yeah, there is.
So we get away with the one.
Bargain. Yeah. Right, so I've now got a Swarm of Rats on me. And Rick's saying you get the question mark from Min if you're at the same location.
Yeah.
Oh, on yours. That skill test you did.
No, but he didn't do a skill test, did he? Because
That was a discard. The skill test was.
Yeah, so you actually got +5 on
Oh,
that
yeah.
skill test.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Where's this going? It's going there. Right. So my third action, kick the rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm at +2. Oh, I'll just use the gravedigger's shovel. I'm at +4. Right. So I'm going to bash the rats with my shovel.
That's not a. It's not like a discard
Nope.
once you think
It's
it,
just
is
a
it?
fight action. You get +2 fight for this attack.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good
Yeah.
for a one-handed item,
Yeah.
but it does cost 2 to play.
And And you don't get any plus damage from it, I suppose, do you? It's
No.
just plus.
No.
Which is probably why.
So I'm at +4. -1. Yes. Splat the rat.
with the big shovel.
Literally splat the rat with the big shovel. Done. 3 actions done. So that's after you reveal it. Yeah. Okay. So other people can move in there now. Oh, this is worth a victory point if we clear it of clues,
Oh, that's good.
which we probably want to do anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was your third go, was it?
That was my third go. I played the shovel, I moved, and I splatted a rat.
Excellent.
There we go.
Shall I attempt to splat my art as well?
Yeah.
Go on then. Would you like any assistance?
I mean, I could potentially come in and splat it for you, but it's only a rat, isn't it? I'm sure you
Only a
can.
rat. What's your fight skill? 2.
2.
Ah. Do you want me to?
+1.
Oh, yeah.
I can make it 3 by giving you a card which will have a +1 because of your ability.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, go on then. Let's get rid of the Holy Rosary. The spare rosary.
Oh,
But that's got a head on it.
Yeah, but it's got an extra question mark because of this, isn't it?
card gains a question mark icon until the end of the test.
So we're saying that you can commit a card to a skill test even if it doesn't have any matching icons. I think you can.
I think it makes sense if it gains a question
If
mark.
it gains a question mark.
We'll play it like that. Scott
can tell us
will
anything.
answer.
Yeah, he'll tell us. If
I will try and find it. Can you commit a card to a skill test if it doesn't have any matching icons? I think you can.
Yeah.
I think you commit the card to the skill test, and then for each matching icon you get a +1. But yeah, do you want to carry on? You would have done it anyway.
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you carry on. I will.
Find out if my card goes or not.
Skill tests timing. Okay, 26.
That's one side for now.
And then I will join you to get some 2, 3 next time.
Okay. The investigator performing the skill test may commit any number of cards with an appropriate skill icon.
Mm-hmm.
An appropriate skill icon is either one that matches the skill or a wild.
So it says
Oh.
after
Yeah.
an
No.
investigator.
And they're saying no, you can't.
So I've got to match it before we can do that.
Yeah, you've got to match it, but then when you do play it, it also
gets
has the
a
question mark. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So, my go.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was thinking about going over there with you guys, but it seems a bit crowded. So
Sure.
I can either come and join Andy.
Well, you got your rat first.
I'm going to move and let the guard dog take care of that.
Oh, what does that do?
When an enemy attack deals damage to guard dog, deal 1 damage to the enemy attack.
Oh, so you move away,
Yeah,
it
hit the
attacks
guard
you,
dog
put the damage on there, and it bites it back.
and draw a card because of my special ability.
Because the damage has gone on a card that you control.
Yes, is the plan.
There you go. So,
Can
So-
I explore one of these two,
I
maybe?
can either come and parlay with
Can go
Andy
here.
or go
Yeah,
there.
okay,
Go on then. Right. So I go
first
1.
action move. That provokes an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. So I take a damage.
Damage on the guard dog. Guard dog retaliates and goes.
Yeah. Deals 1 damage back. Kills the rat.
Kills the rat.
And then I draw a card because I'm activating.
Maximum of once per phase,
Per
was
phase,
it? Right,
yeah.
so we're in the investigator phase. There you go.
Oh yeah.
And now we reveal this, which is the rehearsal room. Forced, after you succeed by 2 or more while investigating this room,
Mm-hmm.
you take 1 horror. So, interestingly, it has 4 shroud value. Sorry, it has 1 shroud value. There are 4 clues there,
Yeah.
but if you investigate too well,
Yeah.
you take a horror
So it might be good for me to start investigating then.
because
I've
you're
only
not
got
very good at investigating.
book 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Intellect
Yeah.
2.
Yeah,
On the other hand, you don't have much horror capacity,
I don't.
no,
Very little.
but I do.
but I have a hip flask somewhere.
Yeah. I've got a pipe
Deeply in the
somewhere.
pocket.
Oh, you've got a smoking pipe
Yeah,
somewhere
somewhere
in your back
in
pocket.
my back pocket. So, I mean, I can either. Should I do an investigate? It's either that or draw
Yeah.
supplies or cards.
Go for it.
I think do some
Well,
investigating.
I'll do 1 investigate then, should I?
See what
if
happens.
that goes horribly wrong, then.
Yep.
So basically, I'm at +1.
You're at +1.
And I don't really want to be any higher than that.
No, you don't want to draw the +1.
No. Thanks, Paul.
There you go. Well, the good news is you found
Yeah.
a clue.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, you've also found something very disturbing.
Oh dear. Where's my clues go? Is there a
There,
space for that?
clues.
So there is. Right.
So you're a little bit scared.
Right. So I take a.
Take a horror,
Oh dear.
which goes on
There.
Yeah, and that flips over when you've taken 5. Oh, that's
5
damage.
damage,
And that's
yeah.
when you've taken the damage.
That's
right,
when
okay.
that's when Mark's taken 5 damage.
Okay.
I probably don't really want to do any more. I wouldn't have
I
thought.
don't know.
Go
Is it
on,
direct or
go
can
be
you put it on
brave.
the dog?
I could put it on the dog, but it would kill the dog.
Oh, right, okay.
The horror would kill the
You
dog.
surely won't get another one.
I don't want to scare
Yeah.
Trevor to death, do
What's
I?
the chance of getting another one?
Right, you're all in for it if I get another one. I'm staying there until my smoking pipe
It's like
comes
2
out.
in 18.
Yeah.
Auto fail.
Also failed.
Well, at least you don't take a horror.
That is true. Excellent. That was successful. Well, the guard dog did better than I did.
Yeah. Who's a good boy?
Yeah.
Right, we've all done?
Yep.
Enemy phase. Do we have any rats left? No. Okay, upkeep phase. So everybody stands up. Everybody gets a card and a resource. Ooh. You put that in your deck, so I put it in mine.
Oh my god, and now I've picked
Ooh, yeah.
out the
You haven't got your other weakness, have you?
Well, get them out of the way.
Oh no.
What is your other weakness?
psychosis. Add it to my threat area. After you take 1 or more horror, take 1 direct damage.
So, spend 2 actions to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Discard down to 8 cards. Round 3. Mythos phase. Doom. Okay, off we go.
Right. So, Descent into Madness. Surge. If you have at least 3 horror, you lose 1 action.
Okay, and Surge, draw another card. So it's got Surge anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
So
that
it will-
and something else.
Descent into Madness. If you have at least 3 horror.
Nice.
Surge. So, you know, million.
Yeah.
Pact. Okay. Twisted to his will. If there is no doom in play, Twisted to his will gains Surge. Otherwise, test willpower, where X is the amount of doom in play. If
So-
you fail, discard 2 cards from your hand at random.
Oh.
Do I? How? Oh, I've got some nice cards.
So it's a willpower test of
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. And I'm on 3.
So you're at +1.
I might take a damage to boost my skill for that.
Okay.
And then that lets me draw another card as well.
Yep.
So I
So you
will
go,
activate Sophie. Take a direct damage,
Which draws a card.
which draws a card, which is my weakness, which is okay because for every 2 damage on you, take 1 horror. So I'm pleased that that's out of the way. I'm a little bit less
Oh, and that's
worried
just
about.
done and gone?
Yeah.
Is that it? Revelation, for every 2 damage on you, take a horror, and then it gets discarded?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I'm happy. enough
But
with
the
that.
way that character works is you take lots of damage,
Yeah.
and then if you draw it,
you're screwed.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
right,
So getting out early
Yeah.
is really good.
nice.
So now I've got a willpower of
So you're at
5.
+3.
And I can't draw the tentacles again.
But you can.
I can. +1. +1 for each damage on Mark.
There you go. So, easily done.
Easily done.
Apparently this one should be in here. In a hand slot.
What's that?
The king in yellow, my weakness.
Okay.
Okay. So the medical techs have had to be discarded, have they?
You got 2 hands.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got a
Yeah.
magnifying glass.
I kept the magnifying glass.
King in yellow weakness takes a hand slot. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't draw a card, did I?
When?
For taking my direct damage.
You did?
Did I?
And you drew your weakness.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my hand thinking, oh no, I've still got the same cards as before.
Black Stars Rise. Test book 4. If you fail, you must either place 1 doom on the current agenda or take 1 horror for each point you failed by. This effect can cause the current agenda to advance.
Well, you're good at books, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm on 4. My magnifying glass is 5.
5.
Is that a permanent +1, not just when investigating?
Yes,
Okay.
It's
investigating.
when only when
When
investigating.
investigating.
When
Right.
investigating.
Andy, can you? Oh no, you're,
No, I'm
you're
on
on your
roll.
own.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right now.
it's just. And
We've
you,
all run away.
yeah. So it's either. Commit
Oh no, I'm
3.
here.
Yeah, you can
Oh
help.
yeah.
We're together, aren't we? So what is your skill? You're 4
Yeah. So it's 4
against 4. And if you fail,
4.
You must either place 1 doom on the agenda or take
a horror.
for each point you
For each
fail by.
point I fail by.
And she'll get +2 if you can commit something that matches.
Yeah.
Because you get the
Okay.
question mark bonus.
I can, because I've got a flashlight, which I probably want to keep, but I'm going to commit quick thinking,
Okay.
which is a wild card. So
Yeah.
he gets another wild card.
Yeah.
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 That's +2.
So you're at +2.
2.
Is that the auto fail?
Yeah.
Okay, because I would have got a bonus if it would have succeeded by 2 or more.
Oh no.
We're not doing well here.
Oh, now this is really bad
Yeah.
because that's treated as a
What's-
0.
Yeah.
0.
So you're gonna either take 4 horror or we get a doom.
Great.
So is it 1 doom or 4 horror?
It
Yeah.
would be ridiculous if it's 4 doom, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it? Is that it? Is
If
it?
you fail, you must either place
Just
one
doom
doom.
on the current agenda,
Or
or
take
take 1 horror for each point you failed
Yeah.
by.
Yeah, I think we might have to take a doom.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can you just have a look at the card?
That
Yeah,
is
of course.
very unlucky.
Yeah.
I think I should stop picking
Yeah, I think
cards,
it's
picking tokens.
yeah.
It's
1
not
doom on
going
the
well
current
tonight.
agenda. Hopefully, pause or
Mhm.
1 horror for each point you failed by.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would say for each point you failed
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
It would be worded the other way around. So that goes there.
Right.
Okay. Paul, could you commit that card to the test? Oh
I think so because it had a.
no, I couldn't.
No.
Oh,
There you go. Thank you.
what? Because you were in the wrong.
Because I'm
phase.
in survivor
You
mode.
cheated. Yeah.
Well, it's lucky we got people watching us.
I
isn't
know.
it?
It's this character.
I saved you a card though since you failed anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, what's mine?
Yes. Thank you very much. I need to get used to this character. I'll be
It's
saying that for the
a
next 8
poltergeist.
sessions.
Cannot be damaged except by spell, relic, or encounter cards. And I can banish it by testing books.
So is it an enemy? It is. It's an enemy.
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay.
I've got an idea.
No.
I'm going to turn the cards I can't play that way round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
There you
then
go.
you can do a fast action to switch, can't you?
Yeah, once per round.
Once per round. Okay.
But it's when you can do the fast action. That's the thing. I can't do a fast action in the middle of that skill test.
Because
Okay.
obviously that was how people were
Yeah,
cheating. Well, not
I
cheating,
think so.
but yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for that. I just need to remember what cards I've got in my hand. Right. My go, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, there's a hidden one.
Right, I'm just going to reread the rules on hidden cards again. Because it is a hidden card.
I think you got to put it in your hand.
I put it in my hand without revealing it or the text to
Yeah.
the other players. It's in it, so while it's in your hand, you treat it as if it's in your threat area.
Yeah.
The abilities on it are active. The abilities on it can be triggered, but only by me. It counts towards my hand size.
Yeah.
But it can't be discarded by any means except those described on the card. And when discarded, it's put in the encounter deck. It doesn't remain part of your deck. Right. What was the thing about it counts as 3?
I think that was only here, wasn't it?
That was it, yeah. Right. Okay. What was that? Somebody say something?
No.
No, just thinking.
Okay, must have heard something. Right, so we're done. Investigation phase.
I think I'm going to need some assistance on skill tests for this thing. Otherwise, it's a little bit iffy.
What is it?
Well,
Ooh.
it's a poltergeist. It can only be damaged by spell, relic, or encounter cards. Unfortunately, I've yet to draw any of my spells somehow.
But it can be parlayed with.
I can, yes. However, I'm at a -1 base difference on that. And I've only got 1 card I can commit to a skill test. And I'm going to need to do it twice.
Okay, and where are you?
So
You're
I'm
here
here.
in the theatre.
I'm going to do. I could do with someone standing on the same space as me that is able to commit a book or 2.
Oh, well, that won't be me. Unless it can be shot in the face or stabbed, I'm no use at all.
Yeah, if
unfortunately.
it's Emily, that'd be even better because
But she can't commit cards.
It's got to be at least 3 cards.
Yeah.
yeah, but I would get a bonus on the cards I commit.
That's true.
Oh yes.
So yeah, that would be helpful. Or I could just take a chance and hope it doesn't kill me.
Well, I might stay here and do a bit more investigating.
Here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm less worried about my sanity now that
Yeah.
that weakness is
Okay,
gone.
do you want to go first then?
Yeah, I mean, because presumably we're not going to be exploring any more new
No.
rooms. by
No, I
the
don't
looks of
think
it.
so.
I'm useless against that thing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, do you want to do some investigating there? And
Yeah.
I'll have a look at this, see what I can do.
so my first investigation to fail.
You can just try talking to it to get it to go away.
Yep.
-2. So that actually fails.
Because you were at +1.
Second investigation.
So you need help with books.
Yeah.
Skull, which
-1.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's perfect. So that's 2. And then, rather than investigating again, I think I'm gonna, for my final turn, put me 32 Colt into play.
Right, I might go next. I'm currently in survivor mode, but I think as a fast action, I'm going to switch roles. I'm going to become a mystic,
Whee.
and I am going to play into my arcane slot Alchemical Transmutation, which has got 3 charges on it. It is a spell. And then I think I'm going to play my flashlight as my second action, and then as my third action I'm going to investigate using one of the charges of my flashlight. So this is treated as 1. Yeah, so I'm at +2. 3 versus 1. Yeah. +2 on the investigate. How are we finding the glass tokens?
Did you put that? Is that a neutral one, the flashlight?
It is.
Ah,
Yeah.
Excellent. Glass tokens are awesome. They just keep putting rubbish ones out.
-1. Yep. Success. So I get a clue.
Yeah, can't the ones I'm revealing, they're amazing.
And that is me done. So I have switched once per round. Yeah. So I can't switch again.
So does that mean you have to have selected Mystic to be able to use your spell as well?
Yes. I can
Okay.
only play, commit, or trigger abilities on the neutral cards or ones of my role. So I've got to stay as Mystic to use
that spell.
that. So this card that I've put in my deck is probably not a great one because I can't actually use it unless I'm in rogue mode.
Yeah.
Again, I threw this deck together and it's potentially not very good.
We'll see.
We will see. Thankfully, when you buy new
So-
cards, you get rid of the ones.
Maybe I should investigate 1 and move to your location. Would
Yeah,
that
I'm
be
probably going to
best?
struggle if I don't get any help.
My question is that I've got this king in yellow that I'm trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
And on it, it says I've got to commit 6 icons, the same icons,
In which
to the
you,
skill test.
yeah, you have committed at least 6 matching skill icons.
Does my +1 on the magnifying glass
No.
count?
That's not a matching skill icon on the test.
If she committed 3 cards that had like 1 book on them, say.
No,
is
it's
it
only
each-
once per
It's only once per
investigation.
Okay, so
Okay.
she basically needs 5 icons.
Yeah, that's why you want static bonus cards for Lola. Yeah. Static bonuses.
Well, I've got
So if
5.
I had a card that says you've got +1 whatever, that's permanent.
If you've got
Right.
5,
I've got 5,
but are
but then
they...
I can't help Andy as well.
Sorry, being on the same space as me will be helpful. But you can't help me anyway, committing cards, because you can't commit.
She can commit 3.
Can't you only commit multiple cards if it's your own investigation, your own skill test? Or can you do it on anyone's?
Oh.
On other people's tests, you can only commit 1.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she can't help me anyway,
No.
unless that's
No.
gone.
But you're saying her being
Her
with
being
you-
there will give one of my cards a
Yeah.
bonus, which
Okay.
might be enough to
Okay.
tip me on the edge. So if you want to get rid of that now, go for
But
it.
I've only got 5. I need 6.
But don't you get +1 for this?
This one.
Your
Yeah,
main
one of-
ability,
Take once for each investigator per round.
Yeah, so you're
So
an investigator.
one of your cards is +1.
Oh, right, yes. Oh, yeah, but so both me and Andy can do it then, that's alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to do an investigate,
Yeah.
and you're going to throw in, and they've all got a
2,
matching.
3, 4, 5.
Plus your 1
card
is 6.
Awesome.
So you're and what's your base intellect skill?
I've got 4.
So you're at +7.
So
Really,
Don't draw
really
the
looking for
tentacles.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
there
and
we
you
go.
get some random
And I
bonus.
get to choose a skill card committed to the test to return to my hand.
Oh,
Ooh,
ideal.
very
That was
nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And you've got rid of the king in yellow.
Chuck away your
Yeah.
weakness.
There you go.
And it has to be a skill card, so it can't be like an asset card that has.
Does it
the-
say skill card?
I might as well remove this one
Skill
since
card,
it only
yeah.
affects the start of the game.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to
Yeah.
decide.
That was only one. That's ideal.
Okay. You did have to lose a lot of cards, but you did get rid of the weakness.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And then,
did
then
get
you
a
come
clue.
over
Get a
and
clue?
help me with your presence.
One
Yeah.
and then two.
Wander, wander, lie down. Right. Off you go then.
Now, first question: do I have to use that on the first one I commit, or is it entirely
I
optional?
don't think so.
Oh, I thought so.
So for the
Just put that
first attempt, I will go with a parley with an overall +1 and draw a card if it works. Good. So I get a card.
So you parlayed with the
Yep.
with the poltergeist.
And it took 1 damage.
She gets the damage. There we go. The damage.
Right,
It's only got 2 wounds, hasn't it?
Yep, so I need to do it once more. Ooh, interesting. I'm gonna have to do this one. Border protection, which has a question mark and another question mark. So that's
So you're committing that to the skill test.
yep. So I got +1 again.
You try and talk to the poltergeist again.
Hey.
Oh.
Okay. And I get +1 to any asset I control with charges, which is none,
Ooh.
because I can't
Well-
draw any goddamn spells.
But the poltergeist.
Poltergeist is gone.
Yep.
You just talk to it.
Yeah.
Go away.
Right, that's 2 actions. So can I do anything useful? No, I can draw a card.
Done?
Yes.
Right. Enemy
But
phase.
now I've got some good stuff.
Do we have any enemies?
No.
Upkeep phase. So everybody stands up, everybody gets a card, and everybody gets a resource. Oh dear. I've got a crisis of identity.
Oh no.
Discard all cards you control from your current role. Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, no.
That's
is
why you might
that.
be a neutral. Ah. Yeah.
So that goes. Then discard the top card of your deck. Switch your role to the class of the discarded card. And if the discarded card is a weakness, switch your role to neutral. So it's neutral, so I become neutral. Oh, I'm having a crisis of identity. Okay, I've got more than one of those in my deck. I think I've got 2 or maybe 3. Right, okay. Awesome. So we've all drawn a card, we've all had a resource.
Mhm.
What can I play? I can play any of these. Right. Next round,
Yeah.
1 Doom on the agenda, and we all get a card. How are we doing for clues?
Not very well.
5. Slow going. Alan's reading. You alright?
Fine.
Everything fine?
Everything.
Sure?
Hunky dory.
Sure everything's alright?
Yeah.
Is there any cultists?
There are no cultists.
No.
So it gets
Is that
Surge.
King's Edict one? Dissonant voices.
Is that
Cannot
the...
play assets
Yeah.
or events. At the end of the round,
Try and get rid of it?
I just discard it.
Oh, is it just discard? So for your next round you can't do stuff.
Play assets or events.
Yeah.
Not that I've got any cards to play anymore.
What was that one?
Oh dear.
Black Stars Rise.
Yeah, that's not nice.
No. could just fluff it and take a doom.
Yeah, it's advancing pretty swift, isn't it?
Yeah.
At best, I can get myself +1 on it, and that's a card I don't really want to ditch.
You're purple, aren't you?
Yeah.
So Emily can help, or
Yeah, Emily can help, or
Yeah, can you chuck in any book cards to assist me?
the whole 2 that you've got in your hand.
what's your limit? Once per investigator per
round. Yeah, so that's going to be a +3 for me, isn't it?
per round.
Per round.
This is a
Yeah.
new round, so we just need to
Oh,
remember
okay.
Yeah. So that would be a +3.
that it's been used for you.
So
For this
Used
round.
for Andy.
that gives me a total of 5.
No, it's
Because it's 1 extra now.
yeah. But what's the wording? Is it once
So
per
it's-
investigator?
It's so after an investigator at your location
Commit.
commits a card to a skill test. Oh yeah, so yeah, it's Emily.
So this would be
who it's
Emily's
been
once
used
per
for.
round.
Yeah.
Thing
Right.
done. So you're at plus lots. Auto fail.
Oh my.
That's
Are
a
we
doom.
putting a doom on?
Yeah. It's
Or are you taking 4 horror?
I don't think 4 horror is a good idea.
There you go.
Oh, and that's a wasted
That's a
card.
massive waste.
Yeah.
We're not doing very well, yeah.
We're
Too
not.
many of those.
I'm just going to put this card in my hand.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Okay, right. So, investigation phase.
Mhm. I'd probably like to go last, maybe.
I'm quite happy to go first and see what happens.
Yeah, go on.
Right, okay, finally get a spell down.
Woo!
Got shrivelling.
Right,
Now I'm completely fearless.
4 charges.
Yep, 4 charges. So I'm going in here.
He's off. He's into the lobby.
Yeah.
So the lobby says, through the tall glass doors leading into the lobby, you can see that this room isn't nearly as dilapidated as the auditorium. Signs promoting the King in Yellow taunt you from inside. Okay, you go in. We have 1 clue. When the lobby is revealed, put 2 of the set-aside lobby doorway locations into play at random, and there is 2 actions to draw 3 cards. Right, okay, lobby doorway cards.
Could have done a lot with that earlier in the game.
So choose 2 of those,
These 2.
and those go in play. How many clues needed on the act? 12.
Right, so that was move number 2.
Yep. We got a clue? Need a clue.
Yeah.
Shroud value of 4.
I won't be finding any clues there. What shall I do? Shall I jump up to the balcony just to
Yeah.
see what happens? You know, we've got to take some risks, I think.
Go for a wander.
Yeah.
How many clues is it we need again?
12.
Right, I'm going to run up to the balcony and hope
The
nothing
balcony is a carpeted staircase leads up into the balcony. Somehow, a hot draft is blowing down through the steep passageway. Okay, we have 4 clues here. Shroud value of 2. Forced effect. After you perform a move action, during which you move from the balcony to the theatre, take 2 damage. Which
Nice.
is literally, yeah, you jump down.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. Because surely you could just go back down to the lobby.
You
Yeah.
can, can't you?
Saving 1. I suppose that 1 move might be
Might be.
ever crucial. You never know.
Yeah,
Heroic leap.
I
of some
could use
sort.
it to draw a card.
true.
You know.
Well, that's me done.
Did you do 3 actions? Oh, you played a spell, didn't you?
Yeah, spell, move.
Okay. I might go next. So I'm in neutral mode. And I'm going to spend 2 of my actions on discarding this terror card.
Hang on, that's 5 charges.
Whispers in my head. So that's gone. And then I'm going to spend my 3rd action using my flashlight to do an investigation. So 3 versus 1. I'm at +2. And we have a 0. So I found a clue. And then I'm going to switch roles. Or am I? Yeah. I'm going to switch roles. I'm going to become a rogue. There you go. Done.
Emily, do you want
Okay. Well, I better come this way, I
to draw some cards?
think, and draw a card.
Yeah.
Spend your remaining 2 actions to draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Great
Yeah,
idea.
Yeah,
it's quite
very
efficient.
good.
I feel a little bit vulnerable.
I'm going to spend 2 of my actions to get rid of whispers in your head,
Okay, yeah.
because that's pretty horrible. And then I'll spend my final action to do some investigating,
Yeah.
which I've been so successful at.
So you're
so
at
far.
+1, I think.
Yeah.
So that's -1.
Minus
Yeah.
1. Yeah. Excellent. That's
Well,
what happens when
there
you
you
leave
go.
Mark Harrigan to go investigating.
we're all done. Enemy phase. No enemies.
Nope.
Upkeep phase. Stand up, card, and a resource. Card. Put that there. Resource. Put that there. Next round. We have a Doom on the agenda, and it pops. So, I'm going to flip this over, and it is... Abruptly, the malformed body of an unnatural nightmare slams onto the stage, its slithering tendrils reaching it into the aisles. It opens its maw and lets out a shrill, piercing song. The melody is uncanny. The notes sear into your mind. Pain pounds in your forehead, and blood runs from your ears. Search all of the set-aside cards and the victory display for the Royal Emissary, and spawn it at the theatre. So the Royal Emissary... Ugh. That spawns at the theatre. Now, there's nobody there,
God, I love
so it's massive, but it is a hunter, and it's got to retaliate, so it's going to move. It's going to follow us.
I'll go and take him out.
Yeah,
Enough of
it's
this
quite
investigating.
tough.
I can kill him.
Can you?
Yeah, I've got my
Shriveling.
shriveling, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so that's that agenda gone. We now have agenda 2A. Encore. The creature's song echoes relentlessly through the halls of the theatre.
it.
The melody repeats again and again, yet somehow never the same note twice. So, forced. After Royal Emissary is added to the victory display, remove all Doom from play, and reset the agenda back to 1A. And then put 3 Doom on the agenda.
Mm.
So when we get rid of that,
Yeah.
we basically reset,
Oh, okay.
and that goes back out there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Right. Very interesting. Okay. So we've done that. Cards.
Thank you.
Emily can remove dissonant voices now.
Yeah, I did.
There you go. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Give me some blooming monsters.
I've got a fanatic.
Uh-oh. Is it a cultist?
Yes. Spawns at the revealed location with the most clues.
Yeah.
That's there.
Oh, with me.
And then it engages with you.
Excellent.
And you can shrivel him.
I will.
How tough is he?
Only 2 health.
3, 2, 3.
I'll kill him.
Okay.
Move 1 clue from Fanatic's location to Fanatic.
What, there's a...
So forced after he enters play.
Which is now.
Yeah.
So one of those clues moves onto there. And he gets tougher for clues on him?
When you defeat him, take all of his clues.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right, what do I get? Spires of Carcosa. Attached to your location, place 2 Doom on that location. Investigate and remove Doom instead of...
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
So we've got to get rid of the Doom first.
Yeah.
Right, and I have drawn dissonant voices. So I can't play assets or events. Right. Investigation phase. I might go first.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to investigate. 3 versus 1. Yep. So that's the remaining clue. So how many clues do we have now? 7.
Yes.
I am going to get rid of this with my remaining 2 actions. And then I get rid of dissonant voices. There we go. All right again now. The whispers in my head have gone. And I'm still a rogue, which is fine. I'm going to stay as rogue for now. Right, I'm done. Who wants to go next?
Can I have a go at killing the fanatic?
Yeah.
Just so I can do something useful.
Yep.
Right,
I'm going to shrivel it.
I will. So I have
6 willpower.
Yep, and he's got 3, so
you're at plus
it
3.
should be nice and comfortable.
Yep.
That'll do it.
And it's 2 damage, isn't it?
It is.
Which is.
No, yeah, so
That's
he's
enough.
dead. Yeah. there we
And you
go.
get the clue.
dead.
Nice.
Refuse to charge. Right.
Okay. Nice.
Unfortunately, I'm not really the right person to be searching for clues here.
It's only 2 shroud.
Yeah, but I've only got 2 sparks.
Oh,
2
okay.
books. So what I will do instead is put scrying into play.
Should these be clues, not doom, or are they?
No, they're
actually-
doom.
Those are
Oh,
doom.
they?
Yeah.
And that comes into play with 4 charges. And then I'm going to use one to look at top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Or maybe I'll be better off trying to get my clue card. I'm going to look at top 3 cards in my deck.
Yep.
And rearrange them.
That's your last action, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'm gonna 2 to get rid of that.
We keep hearing these voices, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm stuck in this corner, not finding any clues.
There's lots
hearing
of
loads of
voices,
voices, loads of them.
You're then going to investigate
Then I'm
again.
going to investigate
So you're
again.
at +1. This is a tricky one, this.
Yeah.
You want it just in that sweet spot, don't you? What's that for you?
+1. So I take a. I do it, but I take a
You do it, but you take a horror.
horror.
Okay.
And that's
That's
mine,
you done?
Yeah.
Emily? We're getting there.
Yeah.
We've got 9 clues now.
I was going to try and get this one.
Yeah, it's got shroud value of 4.
So the other thing to remember is that monster's going to lurch towards
It is.
you next turn.
Is it?
Yes. I mean, I will still try and get the clue, but might want to run
Then
away
move away.
potentially. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then head up to the balcony. Or just head up to the balcony and investigate there instead.
Yeah. Easier
A
investigation.
lot,
isn't
a
it?
lot easier.
Mm.
And we do need to get rid of the doom.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting up there is a
Okay.
very good idea.
I'll move up there then.
Okay.
And I will investigate up here because I'm at 5. So that's
So you're at +3.
+3.
So you're investigating this rather than the clue. It's up to you.
Don't we have to investigate that
Nope.
first?
I think we want to get rid of the
Should
doom.
be.
You do
first,
want to,
probably.
but you don't have to.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We'll do that first then. What's that on? That's just 2 as well, is it?
Shroud
For
value of
that?
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you investigate the location as normal.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm just thinking, because if we kill this,
Mm.
all doom in play disappears.
Ah, okay. And we still need 6 to advance.
Yeah.
Don't we? Okay. Yeah. Take a clue.
So
Instead.
you're
Yeah,
thinking
come
take
and
a
get
clue,
a clue, yeah,
and we'll just
okay.
aim to kill
Yeah.
this.
It's the
Okay.
same test, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
decide
Okay.
to take
Yeah.
a clue instead. Yeah.
Okay. Don't forget to use your signature card. Take 2 damage to increase. Yeah.
Let's take a.
Yeah, take a clue. So we'll aim to kill this, and that'll clear all of the doom.
Okay.
That's the plan.
I'll do it again.
You want to put that one back in?
Oh yeah. Oh.
No.
Auto fail.
Seen that far too many
We have
times
seen
today.
that far too many times. Right, we're all done. Enemy phase. Enemies with the hunter keyword move towards the nearest investigator.
Which is all of us.
Yeah, so if it's a tie, I believe lead investigator chooses.
Oh.
I think that would be the rules. I have 22 seconds to find out before Scott tells me. Hunter. If there are multiple equidistant investigators who qualify, the enemy moves towards the one of those who best meets its prey instructions. Lowest willpower.
Oh, well, that's not me.
3.
4.
So one of us two.
One
so
of us two.
It's going to be here then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's you and me.
Yeah, so it moves to there.
That's a shame.
If none do, or it has no prey instructions, the lead investigator may choose.
Okay.
So, yeah. If none do.
I should have jumped down into the theatre and
Okay, so it's here. And we're going to have to...
Come and fight it.
Yeah, I might just stay there. So, it's safer. Right, so we've done the enemy phase. Upkeep phase. So stand up, get a resource, get a card. Next round, 1 Doom on the agenda. There is now 3 Doom in play.
Stand up, get a resource, get a card.
And cards. Alan, you're first.
That's fine.
Ooh.
Oh,
Found mine.
Fanatic.
Goes into play in the location with the most clues.
Spawn revealed in the location with the most clues.
Over there. And then does it have prey?
No.
So who does it engage with?
Forwards. Our Fanatic enters play with 1 clue from the Fanatic location to the Fanatic. When you defeat Fanatic, take control of the clues.
Yeah, I think we choose who gets it.
I'm quite happy to have it. I can probably
You can shrivel
kill
it,
it
can't you?
again.
It spawns with the investigator who drew it. If it doesn't have any spawn instructions. If it does have a spawn instruction, and then it engages. Yeah, I think it engages with whoever we choose. I think that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Don't forget the emissary's forced ability. The emissary says, forced at the end of the enemy phase, each investigator at the royal emissary's location or a connecting location takes 1 horror.
Ooh,
Thank
connecting
you.
Location.
So that's at the end of the enemy phase.
Ah.
So we both,
So we would,
which was, it did have an enemy phase.
So it would have
When-
been 1 horror
but
for each of you.
would
two,
it have
wouldn't
moved by that point?
Yeah.
It would have.
It
Yeah,
moves at the
after
start.
we-
Yeah, so we both take a horror. Ouch.
Need to heal some horror.
It's alright, I've just found my hit flask.
Yeah.
So we're drawing cards.
Done that.
You've drawn your card.
Mhm.
Frozen in fear. First time you perform one of the following actions, each round it costs 1 additional action.
Attached to your
Move,
location.
fight, or evade.
After you leave the location, you must either take 1 horror or lose 1 action. Discard it by spending an action and placing a clue on it.
Okay. And then my card is Agent of the King. Right, brilliant. It's a 4/4/2 monster, so it's pretty big, but it is a victory point if we get rid of it. After the Agent of the King attacks you, move 1 of your clues onto Agent of the King, and when you defeat it, you get all of his clues. Yeah, it's tough. It's a big bad boss guy. Not as big as that. No, in fact, it's exactly as big as that.
Exactly as big as that. Yeah.
Well, I've got my shovel, but it's going to require 4 attacks to kill it because I don't do +1 damage.
And it does horror damage.
It does 1 physical and 2 horror.
I don't want to be anywhere near that.
No,
But I'm kind of going to have to.
you got a gun?
I have.
Yeah, I mean I can just keep bashing it. I just bash him over the head with a shovel repeatedly, but that's not going to kill it. And the problem is if you move into here, that's gonna get you.
I reckon I might be able to do some.
Right, what's the plan for this turn? I'm a bit stuck here because I've got that, and this is
I'll go first and see what I can do with these guys.
okay.
Unless anyone else.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm not going to get over there, so.
Right. So, I'm going to play Shortcut.
Okay. What does that do?
Fast play. During your turn, choose an investigator at your location. Move that investigator to a connecting location.
Okay, so as a
It's a
fast
free
action,
move,
does it cost
yeah.
any?
No.
Oh, it's free to play.
Yeah.
And fast, you get a free movement.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Basically.
There we go.
So,
You can easily evade him. Oh yeah, that's what Rick's saying. You can evade this guy.
no, I don't want to be doing that.
Well, actually, I'm pretty good at evading.
Um,
Yeah, I might do that.
no. No. Talk silliness. Right. So he's got 4. I've
So
got
you are
5.
now engaged with this.
Yeah.
Because it's massive, so it's engaged with everybody at that location.
So I'm going to attack him with a vicious blow.
Mm-hmm. So you're using your gun.
I'm
You're using your
throw
knife.
my knife.
Okay. So you get +2 fight,
Yeah.
and it deals an extra damage.
Yes. So that's 7 on 4,
Yeah. So you're at +3.
and it deals 3 damage because it's +1 for the knife and +1 for vicious blow.
Right. But you probably don't want to kill this just yet, or do we? Okay.
You're going to take horror continually if you don't get rid
You're
of
right.
it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of efficiency of clearing the doom,
Yeah.
but you're right. We need to get rid of it as soon as we can. That is -1 or -3. For you, it's -3.
So that's fine.
That's fine
So
because you're at
plus
+3.
Excellent.
So 3 damage.
Yeah. Let's go back in, didn't it?
So that was a vicious blow with a deeply embedded knife,
Yeah.
and that's those 2 cards gone.
Yeah. Then I'm going to move.
It has retaliate. That only happens if you fail, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to move.
Attack of opportunity.
Yeah. He's
2
gonna
damage.
hit Trevor, which will kill him,
Poor Trevor.
but he'll take a damage, so that will kill him.
That'll kill it.
It.
And you get to draw a card
And
because
I
the
get to
damage
draw
has
a
been
card.
placed on.
Because the damage has been placed on Trevor.
Now, this is dealing 2 damage. Can you put both of those damage on Trevor? Or. Because how much health has he got?
He's got 3.
Oh, right, okay. But
So,
if
yeah.
he only had 2,
Then I couldn't.
I don't know.
Oh,
that
okay.
was the question I'm
Right.
asking.
No,
I'll
I
ask
don't
in
know.
the chat. So he's dead.
Yes.
So this goes to the victory display, which can be over here, temporarily. That's the victory display.
I suppose the question is, now I'm moving, do I want to move into here
Yeah, I think
to
so.
get, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens when it goes into the victory display? No, that's this. After Royal Emissary is added to the victory display, remove all Doom from play. Okay. And reset the agenda back to 1A, but put 3 Doom on it. There
Is
you
that
go.
thing going to respawn
Yeah.
in 3 turns?
Yeah.
I did mean to say, rather than, assuming this is okay, rather than a move action, I was meant to use my second shortcut action.
Okay.
That will still trigger the same thing, won't it?
I think so.
Because it's just a fast play, choose an investigate, move that investigator.
Yeah.
So presumably it's
So
still
it's
a...
still move.
It's still
Yeah, it's
moving.
Still doing the move.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I've still got 2 turns left.
Yeah, so playing the card because it's fast doesn't provoke the attack of opportunity, but the move does.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
Was Trevor the guard dog? Yes, Trevor was the guard dog. And I'm asking if Trevor already had 2 damage on him, and you take 2 damage, can you put both of the damage on the dog, or only one of it, and then one has to go on you? Was my question.
So now I've got 2
You still got 2 actions left,
actions left.
even though you've because
Yeah.
you did a shortcut.
1 attack, shortcut.
Shortcut, yeah,
You've got 2 more turns.
2 actions left.
You've
I
got
mean, do you
plenty-
want to start shooting it?
I will, yeah, I think so.
But if you miss, you hit me.
Yeah, you've got plenty of health, haven't you, Paul?
It's fast.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we know, Rick. Yeah, the card was fast.
But that instigated a move.
A
Yeah, so playing the card didn't provoke the attack of opportunity, but the actual move did. Is the way I think it is.
We're assuming, yes. So, I will then attack the.
Agents of the King.
That's the one.
It's
That's
got
the fella.
4 fight.
4 fight. So I'm going to play an overpower to take me up to 7.
And are you using your gun? Or?
I'm using the gun.
Okay. So you're at 7, so you're at +3.
Yeah.
Don't hit me.
As long as we don't draw them tentacles.
Don't hit me.
0.
Oh, I was supposed to play this. That's alright. Too late.
So that's
Because I
2
can play green cards.
2 damage. And then,
On here.
Yeah.
oh sorry, yeah,
That's alright.
yeah, not on the room. I've
There you
just
go.
shot the room, and then I'll use my final action.
You're going to do it again.
I will
You
do,
can use your card
but
this time.
Draw a card for the overpower.
draw a attack card for the overpower, and
Right.
then I will again play.
Okay, so if Rick and Scott, you want to look up that rule, let me know. Check in the FAQ, thank you. We've done it now, we're not going to undo it. But... Oh, you've got another overpower.
Another overpower.
Right, now I might play it. So I'm going to commit this card to the skill test and give you another +1.
Okay, makes sense. So that's at me at +8. No, plus 4.
Move is not bold.
It isn't a love action.
I think it isn't a move. Let's have a
Oh,
look
I
on
like that.
shortcut. I mean, we've done it now. I'm not
Yeah.
going to undo it,
No.
but okay, yeah, it isn't perform a move action. It is just move to a connecting location.
So in future,
In
we
future,
know that
we
we
know-
can, and we can actually use that to move people away from monsters if we
without
want.
promoting attack of opportunities.
Yeah,
So it's like an evade. That seems
quite good.
very good.
0.
So if this skill test was successful by 2 or more, after it resolves, I can immediately take an action as if it was my turn.
Nice.
So
So I get a free action.
excellent. And he's died,
Okay.
and I get to draw another card because of my overpower.
It didn't have any clues on it. That goes to the victory display. And I get to take an action as if it was my turn.
I sit back and think, what a great turn.
I'll go here.
Seems to make sense.
There you go.
Useful.
Is that 3 victory points?
Yeah.
What a
So,
turn.
But
you're-
4
you're
because of
done.
that.
Oh yeah.
Shall I go next?
If you like.
Okay, so
And for my final trick, I will play if it bleeds before you moved. Play after you defeat a monster enemy. Each investigator at your location heals horror equal to that enemy's horror value, which was 2.
which was 2. Oh, right. Okay, nice. And that costs you 1 to play that, I think.
Yes.
Right. Well, I was going to play me Liquid Courage, but I might not need to now. So. Okay. First action, I'm going to move to here. Second action, I'm going to investigate. I'm 3 versus 1. So I'm at +2. So I've done it, but I don't take the horror.
Yeah, which
Perfect.
is perfect.
How many clues we got?
3, 4, 7, 8.
11.
Ooh.
Well, if I kill this, we'll have 12.
Okay.
But if I do that, I won't be able to get rid of that card.
Yeah. So that was 1, 2. I am then going to change, and I am going to become a survivor. I'm a survivor, and I'm going to play a cherished keepsake. I've got a little teddy bear.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, yeah, because that's 3 actions, isn't it? Move, investigate, do the thing. Done. And that's a victory point display as well. So much XP.
Okay.
Nice.
Right.
Should I investigate to get that one? And then we'll have 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
We want to do that
Do we
before
wanna-
Andy kills.
Do
Do
deals
you want
with
to kill
that.
that first and
I
get
want
the
to
bomb?
kill this first.
Okay, you go first then.
Okay, so I will do some shriveling.
Shrivel, shrivel.
Can I have the
I will
bag of
do.
tricks? It's a +3 at the moment, so probably doesn't need any help. Skull. What's that?
How much horror do you have?
None.
It is -1.
Okay, I can live with that. However,
Oh, you
I
take a
take
horror.
1 horror.
Using the dark arts.
Yep. There we go. And that uses a charge of shriveling. Fanatic is dead, and I get a clue.
So what's this?
I basically need to spend some charges to get rid of it.
Otherwise, you get a physical trauma at the end.
Yeah, so I don't need to do
Okay.
it now, but sometime before the end, whenever I've got
4 times.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be an action. It's just exhaust a spell.
But it's exhausting a spell.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, that's fine. I can afford
Yeah.
to do that.
So this is gone,
Yep, Fanatic is dead.
Yep.
So,
and we've got 12 clues.
do we want to wait till the start of next turn before we cash them in case something nasty happens?
Do you want to do it as
Or
soon as
do we-
possible?
Because that's not going to trip this turn, is it?
It is not going to trip, no.
Maybe.
So it might be safer to wait to the start of next round.
I like your thinking, because we don't know what's on this side, and
Yeah.
it could be bad. It's not normally bad, though, is it? It's normally good.
Normally, isn't it?
Normally, but
I thought-
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will spend an action getting rid of this, discard a clue. And that means Emily can pick up the last
Oh
one.
right. What was
Okay.
that?
So this is spend an action, place a clue on this location to
Oh,
discard spirits.
Otherwise, you get penalties for leaving there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's good.
So that's action number 2.
Lola stole Wendy's teddy bear. Yes.
Now, do I want to move? I mean, I could have a go at finding a clue, but I'm not really very good at that.
Draw some cards. Take some resources.
Yeah, I don't especially need the resources. I could use scrying, but I don't know if I want to. I am going to ditch Quantum Flux in order to put some more reading on my book.
Okay. We'll try and decipher these.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay, glyphs a bit
That's
more.
my third action. I'm then going to exhaust these two
Yeah. To move those two
to
to
do
there.
that.
Okay. Nice. Emily,
I'm at +3 to investigate.
with your magnifying glass.
Hey.
It's alright.
-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a clue. Oh, if there are no doom counters on it, discard this. That should go.
And then kind of like to get some cards out, I think. Get a shovel out.
Everybody needs a shovel.
And I have a rabbit's foot as well. Then I have to test willpower, and if I succeed I get to discard Frozen
Okay.
Fear.
Otherwise, you can't move or fight or.
No.
Do you need any help?
So I'm at 4, and I can
I can give you +2.
4, and it's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll use my. Finally, make some use of it.
Holy Rosary, which has got an extra symbol because of
Yeah.
your ability.
That's fine.
Done. So
Discarded.
dissonant voices go. So that your. Are you all done?
Yeah.
So, enemy phase. Do we have any enemies, or did we get rid of them all?
Got rid of
We
them
got
all.
rid of them all. Awesome. Upkeep phase. So everyone stands up, gets a resource and a card. And then discard down to 8. And then next round. So 1 doom on the agenda, and then everybody gets an encounter card.
Fanatic.
Spawns
Real
up
location
there.
with most clues.
Yeah, who wants it?
There's 2 locations with most clues
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which one does it go on?
Lead investigator chooses.
Who? Anyone want to engage with them?
Well, I can ping it with shriveling again, I guess. I'm running low on charges now, though.
The investigator spawning that enemy decides among these locations.
We're probably going to have to take it out anyway, or he's going to nick clues, isn't he?
Yeah, fine. We can-
Unless we want to let him steal some clues and go and take him out when he's done it. I mean, that's a shroud value of 4. Maybe we stick him there. Let
Yeah,
him, let him
let him
steal
steal
that
the clue and then kill him.
Yeah, stick him there then.
Nice.
Excellent.
Okay. Deck's running out.
And I've got Poltergeist.
Okay.
Cannot be damaged except by spells,
It's alright, I got spells, I can kill it.
relic, or encounter card.
Rotting remains. Test willpower. This should not be difficult.
Yeah. I was going to say, are all tokens back in the bag? I thought, oh, that's a token, but no, that's me. -1.
Skull. Okay, that's fine.
And I've also found some rotting remains. Which for me is 3 versus 3. And I'm in survivor mode, so I can't do that. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. 3 versus 3. Auto fail, so I take 3 horror. But I'm going to put 2 of it on that,
Nasty.
and then 1 of it.
We're drawing an awful lot of auto fails. You sure there's only one of them in there?
There is
Yeah.
only 1 of them in there. Okay, so it's our go. So Are we going to advance the thing?
I think
Is
so.
it like the first thing we do?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's find
So
out what
spend
happens.
12 clues. I got 5,
One from me.
6,
7, 8.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
9, 10, 11. Didn't we have 12?
We definitely.
Oh, weren't you going to pick up one on your turn?
I did pick up one.
That should have made it 12 then. Oh, but yeah, how have we not got 12?
How have we not got 12?
I think you must have not. You didn't. I think you didn't actually. Although you tested for it, you never picked it up.
Yeah, I did
'Cause
because
There was 2 on
Andy
there.
put back 1.
No,
Yeah,
there's
but
12 here.
Picked up.
We didn't count.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's
Oh,
12 here.
so- Well, I was going to say because I thought there was 2 there originally, and then 1 got moved.
Okay,
onto there.
so we've advanced this. A shadow creeps along the wall beside you, and your heart leaps into your throat. You turn, and a figure flits away, just out of sight. Either your mind is playing tricks on you, or someone else is in the theatre. You follow the direction of the shadow, rounding a nearby corner. At the far end of the hall, he stands awaiting you. A man in an elegant black suit, his face covered by a pale mask. Though his attire has changed, you instantly recognise him as the actor who played the role of the stranger, one of the characters from The King in Yellow. He turns and disappears through an open doorway, as if taunting you to follow. Choose one of the set-aside locations at random. So that would be...
The lob-
Oh, actually, we've got extra. Oh no, they're from the return to. I need to make sure I don't put those in. Right, so that's these 2. Put that location into play and spawn the set-aside the man in the pallid mask enemy at that location instead of his normal location. Okay, so it's one of those 2. Top or bottom?
Bottom.
So it's the backstage doorway, which is here.
We've got 1 arrow left.
We have 1 arrow. There is another arrow somewhere. I've just lost it. Or maybe I haven't. Okay, I'm going to need to buy some more arrows.
We'll use
I do
them.
have another stick.
Yeah, we'll use a stick. So a stick means a 2-way connection.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's a 2-way connection there. So set aside the man in the pallid mask. So take the set aside man in the pallid mask. Spawn it at that location instead of his normal one. So the man in the pallid mask is a 4/3/4 creature. And as an investigate action, your location gets +2 shroud for this investigation. But if you succeed, instead of discovering clues, you defeat the man in the pallid mask. So that is a way to defeat him instead of fighting him. Right, advance to one of the 3 copies of Act 2A at random. So we actually have 3 of these, and we advance to one of those. Okay. Remove the other 2 copies of Act 2A without looking at them. So, the stranger. The mysterious stranger from The King in Yellow might know something about what happened during the intermission. You must find him and confront him if you wish to discover the truth. So the objective is, when the man in the pallid mask would be discarded from play, we advance this agenda. So that is our new thing. Forget clues, it's get him and remove him from play.
Okay.
Somehow.
And he hits with horror.
Yes, he's a bit scary because of his mask.
Yeah.
The man in the pallid mask is aloof as well. Oh yes, he is aloof.
Ah.
Meaning.
Meaning, aloof. 4. When an aloof enemy spawns, it spawns unengaged. When an investigator may use the engage action or a card ability to engage an aloof enemy. And an investigator cannot attack an aloof enemy while it's not engaged. So an aloof enemy doesn't engage with you when you move into its location,
Right.
and you can't attack it unless you
Unless you're
first spend an
engaged.
action
So
to
it's got
engage
an
it.
extra action then.
Yeah. It doesn't automatically engage with investigators at its location. There you go. Right. So nobody's had a turn yet. We just did that as a group beforehand. That should go. What do we want to do? I mean, are we going to just try and kill him?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first then? And
I mean, I can't because I can't. I'll obviously be 1, 2, but then I can't attack him because I need to engage
Oh,
him
that's true.
before
Yeah,
I
we
attack him.
can't
So it'll
kill
be
him
a
this
set-up
round.
turn this turn.
are we going to have another setup turn?
looks that way.
Where we just group here or something.
Yeah, I mean, I probably don't need all of us to take him out. I wouldn't have thought, but we're
That's
a
true.
couple of
But
us.
what else have we got?
We got that down there, which needs taking out.
Yeah, and we've got this poltergeist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe you guys go first, see what happens.
Yeah,
and
I
see
mean,
if
I'm
I
just
can-
thinking of that poltergeist.
I've
I've only got
parlayed
2
it.
charges left on my shrivelling, so maybe you
Maybe I
parlay
should
it to death.
parlay with it,
Yeah.
You're good at parlaying, aren't you?
Yeah.
yeah.
If
Parlay it to death.
Well, yeah. Bore it to
Right,
death.
I'm gonna
and go
nag
away.
it. Nag
Yeah,
it to death.
nag it to death.
Yeah, what's that? Test intellect. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sounds like a good plan. I think.
3, I've got 4. I can boost it by 1.
Which for you is boosting it by 2.
Yeah.
Because of your +1.
Yeah.
How are we all doing for horror? Is everybody alright for horror?
Yeah.
That's a -1. So he takes 1 damage. The poltergeist
Damage.
takes 1 damage. Same again?
Same again. Although, don't have any cards to commit this time.
Okay, so it's just a +1.
Yeah, I can't help you.
1. Oh,
Oh,
-2.
Okay, failed.
but you can try again if you've got a third action.
Got one other action.
After you fail a test, exhaust Rabbit's Foot to draw a card.
Oh.
Nice.
Third action, try again.
Third action.
It's not got retaliate or anything like that, has it?
Oh, it's only a parlay attempt, isn't it?
Oh,
So
parlays
no
don't provoke
retaliate.
attack of opportunity. Yeah, okay.
Yay.
Poltergeist gone.
Poltergeist gone.
Nagged to death.
Yeah. I wonder if it's the same one I talked to death.
It might be.
Yeah.
Look, we told you
So
before.
that's
Go
you done.
away. Nice.
So I guess I might as well go shrivel the fanatic.
Yeah, he deserves it. So 1,
Yep.
2, shrivel-tastic. +3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an easy
dead,
win.
and you get the clue. We don't even know if we need any
Those
more clues
two.
now.
Can't hurt.
No, true.
Hopefully.
Right, that's 2 actions. Shall I go have a look around the lobby? Is that risky? What do you reckon?
Well,
Andy wants to make sure he gets rid of his weakness.
yes.
I will. Don't worry.
He will. You got 1 action left, haven't you?
Yeah.
It seems not wise to explore a new location with your last action. Cards?
Yeah, I could just draw a card. I will exhaust this to put another one on here.
Yeah.
I want to keep that back for now. So, yeah. I
You
guess
decipher your
I
glyphs?
can't, unfortunately.
Okay.
I might just draw a card.
Okay.
That'll at least get me a bit closer to deciphering my glyph.
Yeah, okay. I'll go next. I'm going to spend 1 action to move to here. I'm going to switch roles. I am going to play some Liquid Courage. Won't drink any just yet. And then I'm just going to draw a card. Ooh. It's my special one, which I've got 3 of in the deck, I think.
So if we end our turn, sorry,
That's fine. Go on.
if we end our turn in there,
Uh-huh.
will he attack
No.
us? No.
He's aloof.
We can just
Yeah.
be there and sort of wave at him and
Yeah.
not get scared or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you physically got to engage with him to attack him.
Right. So I will move 1 to there. I reckon I'll then play True Grit.
What does that do?
It's free health, basically.
Okay.
Oh, it's yeah.
Then I reckon I'll just move.
Are you sure it is a new location?
Oh yeah. No, it is a new location. Yeah. No, I will play safe and draw a card.
Okay.
That's a very good point, Andy. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm not letting you get away with it. If I got
No,
time.
definitely not. Definitely not.
Enemy phase.
Understandable.
Poltergeist has gone. This is an enemy, but it's aloof, so that's fine. Upkeep phase. Everybody gets a card and a resource.
I've already taken the card.
Card.
What I didn't, that was my last go, wasn't it? Drawing a card.
Resource.
Oh, fantastic.
Mythos phase. One doom on the agenda, not quite enough. Investigation phase. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So, first action, move.
Don't we have to take a...
Oh yeah, cardy.
Oh, yeah. Getting ahead of myself.
Yeah,
Getting
getting too excited.
overexcited.
I
Yeah.
was.
Twisted to his will. If there is no doom in play, twisted to his will gains surge.
There is definitely doom in play.
There is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, test willpower, where X is the amount of doom in play.
5.
Ooh, that's nasty.
If failed, discard 2 cards from hand at random.
You okay with that?
2 cards at random. There's nothing. I've got some nice ones in here, but there's nothing that's
You've not moved yet, have you?
no. The alternative is I've got 3. I can take a damage, which will let me draw a card, and that will take me up to 5, and I can back it up to
Okay.
make it 6.
What does he need?
It's test 5.
It's willpower test.
Yeah. You got anything you can back me
Well,
up?
I'm in rogue mode. No. Well, I've got 2, but I kind of want to keep
Keep it. Okay.
It's my special improvisation card.
I could back it up. Drink dynamite. I could back it up with dynamite.
Do you think we need dynamite in this scenario? I don't think we do.
I don't think we do either.
No.
And it's 5, so I'm not
Yeah.
likely to play it. That will take it to a +1.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So, right, so I'm going to
So you're taking a damage
take a damage,
for your ability.
which means I'll draw a
Draw
card.
a card, and then you're putting dynamite in.
Putting dynamite in
So you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
Six, yeah.
against 5.
against
So you're at
5.
+1.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, so that's +2 for me.
Okay. So you've done it.
So I've done it.
All fine.
All fine.
Attach, oh, it's the Spires of Carcosa again. Attach the location, place 2 doom on the location.
That tips the scales.
It does, doesn't it? But are we bothered?
Just spawns that. Yeah.
Yes, spawns the beastie again.
Yeah. Don't know whether we're bothered.
It's going to spawn anyway.
It's going to
isn't
spawn anyway.
it? So
Yeah.
it doesn't makes no
Yeah.
difference.
That's true. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Okay. You get that?
Shall I shuffle
Yeah.
these?
Do you want to shuffle them? I'll get the next one.
Attached to your location, if you leave it,
Oh, it's that
take
one
a
again.
horror or lose an action.
Hmm.
Well, I can lose a clue to get out.
Yeah, and I don't think we need clues anymore. So nice. Right. What goodies have we got here? Yeah, it's the same as you just drawn. Twisted to his will. So it's a willpower test of 5. I'm just not going to bother boosting it because I'm not precious about any of these cards.
It's
So-
7 now, I think, isn't it?
Is it 7? It is
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
So willpower of 7. So I'm at -4.
Ah.
Come on, +4 token.
Yeah.
Ah, failed.
Funny
That's
that.
surprise.
Yeah.
So I discard 2 cards at random from my hand.
These 2.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Right, now we get to go. So action 1, you move to here. And we have the dressing room. It's got a shroud value of 4. There's no clues here. The cast's dressing room is filled with all manner of costumes and accessories, but it's the tattered yellow robe at the far end of the room that catches your attention. It looks too torn and dishevelled to be worn, yet it is enticing all the same. For 3 actions, you can heal 3 horror.
Useful for you.
Yeah. Right, so I've got 2 actions left, haven't I?
Yeah,
Engage.
I mean,
No,
I
not
will.
ready yet.
wave at him.
Growl menacingly.
Can you do some damage when you get in there?
I can bash him with my shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I can totally
Do right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
I can
engage
do like
him
2 damage a
for the
month.
second action.
Oh, except I can't attack it if it's engaged with you.
No, you'd
No.
have to engage
Or
it
can you?
first.
But you could move, engage, and then attack.
Yeah, I think that's how you'd have to do it.
Aloof. Right. An investigator cannot attack an enemy, an aloof enemy, while that enemy is not engaged with an investigator.
So you can
So I can,
attack it.
which
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense. If it's engaged with you,
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
I can hit it.
Rick just said there.
You only draw a card if the damage goes on an asset.
Is that talking about Mark Harrigan?
Well,
because I read it, because I actually looked that up.
yeah, it says a card you control.
Yeah, and apparently your card counts as a card you control.
Yeah. So
on
Rick,
the
where
thing
did you
I
get
read.
that from? You can, just if you kiss, you hit Alan. What?
If you miss, you hit.
If you
Alan.
miss, you hit Alan.
So hang on, he's got a love
Yeah,
move
okay.
and a kiss here.
Yeah, yeah,
what's,
yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Make sure you don't hit Alan the shovel.
I don't know what he thinks he's tuned into.
Yeah. Regard to your previous question, Alan has read that Mark Harrigan counts as a card you control, which makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we'll play it like that for
We'll
this.
play it
shall we?
like
And
that,
then we'll-
and feel free to look it up in the FAQ or wherever.
Alright.
So I've moved, engaged,
You got 1 action left.
and then I will attack using the home front, which is 4. So I'm
What the heck's
attacking with
that?
9. That's his special.
It's got 4 fight on it.
Yeah, and if he wins, I get to move a damage from me onto him,
Oh, nice. Okay.
which will actually kill him anyway, because he's only got 3 health.
Well, you're only doing 1 damage, aren't you?
No, because I'm
Are you using
my
the gun? Oh, so this is going to kill it.
Oh, nice.
providing I hit him.
So you're at plus.
No pressure.
Yeah, I mean this was 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what was that? 5.
So 9 in total.
Yeah.
So he's a goner.
Okay. So
So-
move damage, 1 damage from you to that, and it also takes 2
2
damage
damage.
from the thing. So that's gone.
Does it-
Okay.
Nothing in our victory display for that
No,
one?
it's not got a victory on it.
Oh.
But when the man in the pallid mask would be discarded from play, we advance this.
Should we have ditched the doom at some point before we've done all this? Because there's 7.
Yeah, it's going to trigger when that hits.
When
6
that-
anyway.
Well, no. It triggers only when advance agenda if doom is satisfied.
Gotcha.
So only at that point. As you face off with the stranger, you get the sense that he is grinning beneath his pale, faceless mask. Where is everyone, you ask? But he does not respond. What is going on? He remains silent and steps back as you approach, until his back is against the corner of the room. Inexplicably, he continues to back away, and his body melds into the wall behind him. Erupting from where he stood is a growing mass of vicious ooze. Instead of discarding the man in the pallid mask, move him to the lobby. Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
Place 1 horror on the location that the man in the pallid mask was moved from. And until the end of the scenario, horror on locations represents the advancing ooze. And each location with horror gains forced. After you leave this location, test agility 4. If you fail, take 1 horror and 1 damage. Keep this card next to the act deck as a reminder and advance to Act 3A. Okay, so he's melded into the wall, created the ooze. The ooze is currently here, and he's gone there.
Yep.
And every time he goes, does it?
It gives an
Not
ooze.
sure. Well, let's advance and see what happens.
Sounds
Right.
like the ooze
Let's
is
have a look through this.
Curtain call. The stranger must know the way out. You have to follow him. While the man in the pallid mask is not in play, the lobby gains the ability that we can all resign.
Right.
So as long as the pallid mask is not in play, we can leave by the lobby.
Okay.
Forced. At the end of the round, place 1 horror on each location with no horror that is connected to a location with horror. So that's the ooze spreading.
Right.
Okay.
Objective, if each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. So we've got to get out.
Yep.
We
We need to add some tokens to the bag as well.
Oh, missed that bit. Ah, so that's how tokens get added in. Yeah, thank you. Add 2 tablet tokens to the bag. Not bad. Still like tablets. 2 of them. Wow. How many is there in the game? I think there's only 2. There we go. 2 tablets into the bag. Right, so all we have to do is kill him,
we kill him
And
a
then-
second time, does he actually die?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we all have to go here and resign.
Okay, easy enough.
Okay, right. Scott saying 99% sure. Yeah, I think so. Right.
Okay. So,
So where was that? This was your
So-
go,
Yeah,
and that was
mine.
your
You
3
had your
actions.
go.
Yes.
You're just going to beat him up.
well, or you could try and investigate him to death.
Yeah, I've got a shovel.
What have you got? Could you investigate him to death? There's a
6.
shroud value of 6.
Oh, but you only need to do it once, don't you?
Yeah, what have you got? Can
I'm
you?
at 4, 5.
I can add 1. I can add 2.
Can't add any.
Nothing from your cards?
Fade.
I think I might just move and bash
No.
him. Oh, I can't because it'd be 1, 2, and engage.
Yeah.
That's fine. 'Cause
Unless someone had engaged him beforehand.
yeah, that's true. And then I can rush in and bash him with a shovel.
Yeah.
It's only 1 damage.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, I've only got a couple of things. I mean, I need to finish reading my book,
Yeah.
but then I could engage him, and do some shriveling or something.
Okay.
I mean, he only does 1 horror damage to you, doesn't he? So he's not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
no worry about it.
It's when
So-
I come up and bash
Um,
with a shovel, miss him, and hit Andy on the head.
Hit him on
So,
the head,
shall I have a go next then?
Yeah, go on. You want
Right.
to read your book?
Yeah, I'm going to read my book first.
Okay, so what happens
So-
when it's got 3 charges on?
So,
Discard it and gain 5 resources.
Yep,
and
discard
we
it,
need to
gain
write
5
something in here.
we now write that you have translated the glyphs.
So campaign notes.
Yeah.
You have translated the glyphs. So you only need to do that once for this whole campaign.
Yeah.
There we go. So we've written that on the campaign log. If you can see, it's a bit bright.
3, 4, 5.
Why is it so bright? It's weird.
There
I'll
we
fiddle
go.
with that next time. Shouldn't be that bright.
So that's gone. So, I will then engage with him.
Yep.
And I may as well try and shrivel him.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing particularly else that I want to do.
Don't forget
so-
Min's question mark,
Mm,
says Rick.
As in, yeah, if you
I
had.
need to commit a card. I don't have a card
Yeah.
to commit,
Yeah.
so I can't.
So, I have a willpower of 6, and he's got fighty of 4.
94, so you're at +2.
That's all I need, isn't it? 2's enough.
Yeah, 2's enough.
This is my last fighty ability. It's
It's a
what's
tablet.
that?
The tablet is -4.
What?
Yeah. And if your location has at least 1 horror on it, take 1 horror from the token pool. If your location has no horror on it, place a horror on it instead.
Oh god.
So it's -4,
Okay.
and the ooze
It's
It's
spreading
oozes
into the lobby. which
into the
isn't
lobby.
Ideal. 'Cause that's
No.
where we're gonna go.
And in addition, I take a horror for using the darkness and failing.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Well, that didn't go too well.
Don't think the card gets discarded unless it specifically says. No.
Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to use up that charge to finish off that, which isn't an action.
Yeah.
So I have 1 action left, if there's anything useful I can do. I could just... No, that's not much use. I could...
So now that he's engaged with you,
Yeah,
any action you do will actually provoke an attack of opportunity.
yeah. Don't really think I want
Just
to
gonna
do
pass?
anything. Yeah, I mean, if he hits me as 1 horror, which is not a massive
No.
threat, but I don't really have anything particularly useful to do either.
Okay.
What does the ooze do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damages you when you move
After
out
you
of it.
leave this location, you have to test agility.
Okay.
If you agility 4, and if you fail, take 1 horror and 1 damage.
Yeah, I'll just...
So actually, it being there isn't
It's
really a
fine.
problem. 'cause
It's
we don't
fine.
need to-
So I'm going to go charge, and then bash.
try and hit.
Charge it, destroy the board, and then I'm going to fight. I got 5 fight.
Hit it with the.
I'm going to hit him with the pointy end. What's his fight?
4.
4. So I will. I will spend a resource to power up, because I'm in rogue mode, I can spend a resource to power up my thing. So I'm at +2. So I'm 3, 4, 5, 6 against 4. Should be enough unless I draw a tablet. I might as well spend another 2.
Yeah.
I've got all these
You've got all
resources,
those,
I'm
yeah.
not doing anything with them. So I'm at
Definitely.
+4.
So it should be fine no matter what.
Should be fine,
Apart from
apart from
the thing that keeps coming out.
Mr. Tentacle.
Yeah.
-4.
It's lucky.
If your location has at least 1 horror on it, take 1 horror from the token pool. So I get a horror as well, but I did damage him. There you go, he's taken 1 damage. And that's me done. Best I could do. Emily, can you get down here and hit him twice?
There's no point in
Or
getting rid of
investigating
those,
the
is there? 'Cause
death.
That's going to go anyway.
You can still investigate the death. He's got a 6 difficulty.
6. I've only got 5.
Well, I can throw a card in, which will be
Right.
worth +1, so that'll give you 3.
+2 because of her special ability.
Yeah, so 2 plus the 1.
Yeah.
So I can add +3.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Might be doing.
How did that location get a horror?
I can't remember now.
Because
He did.
Andy drew the shield symbol there,
Yeah.
which put a horror on it.
Oh yes.
The tablet.
The tablet.
Tablet
That's
symbol.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So you're going to do it. You're going to move down,
1.
and then it's
Do I have to engage with it first?
No.
Or can
No,
I
you
just
can just hit it. But it's just investigate rather.
investigate.
investigate?
So here's the bag. So what are we at? You're 4, 5.
I'm at 4, 5,
So you're at -1.
-1.
I'm going to put 2 in, which becomes 3.
So it's +2.
So you're at +2. See what we get?
Oh.
Ah,
Not again.
this is ridiculous.
There's no penalty for failure, though, is there?
No.
I get
Okay.
a card, thank God.
Blooming tentacles.
4, 5. I've just picked up this one that's got 2 books.
Oh.
Might as well have another go then.
Yeah, have another go.
Yeah.
That counts as 3 for you.
Yeah, 'cause
So
we
it's
haven't
the
used it
same.
yet.
You're at +2.
Oh no, it can only be 1. It can only be because I can only do it once, can't I?
No.
Well, it's
it's
probably
three
investigate.
investigators.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I've done it.
Oh yeah, you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that applies to the investigator committing the card, not the one
Yeah.
doing the test.
Done it.
-1. Yay.
Okay.
So he leaves play.
Yep.
And then, if he has left play, this space now has the resign ability.
Okay.
Yep, I think that's right. While he's not in play, this
That's all 3 of
location.
my actions.
Right, we are done. Enemy phase. I think we're done. We have no enemies.
Not,
Upkeep
we're
phase.
about to.
So everybody stands up. Everybody gets a card. Everybody gets a resource.
I've got a lot of resources.
I got my internal injury,
Oh, I got mid.
but it's fine because I'm going to resign and it's going to go before.
Well, I've got 2 delve 2 deeps in, so if we fancy getting some extra victory points,
Extra victory points are good. Extra victory points are good.
but we need to do our doom
We do.
cards
So,
and stuff first.
so this goes on here. There is now at least 6 in play. So this disappears. That doom disappears. We advance this again. So we take the Royal Emissary and spawn it at the theatre.
So we're going to have to kill him again,
Well, we don't have to.
but it's worth
It's worth 2
2
XP.
XP.
Okay, and then this comes into play again. Yeah, okay. And now we all get a card.
Is that coming with 3 doom again?
No. No. It's that the first one comes into play
Okay.
with 3 doom again.
Oh dear.
When does the horror slime spread?
Good question.
At the end of the round. Oh, right. Yeah, so it should have spread.
So
Place 1 horror on each location that is connected to a location that has no horror. So 1 there, 1
do
here.
all of these.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1 there, and 1 here, and 1 here. Thank
What's
you, Ray.
What's the
I
consequence
could
of these?
die trying to get out.
You could.
Basically.
Well, basically,
Agility
flying
test when you
everywhere.
leave or you take a damage in a horror. Yeah, you'll get out, but you'll be pretty badly wounded on the way out.
Yeah.
Right, so cards.
Yeah, I've drawn mine.
You've drawn yours.
So, test intellect 4. If you fail, you must either take 1 doom on the current agenda.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to try boosting
No.
it in any way. I think I need to save that for skull. So
Minus
-1.
1.
So failed, but 1 doom on the agenda.
There we go.
Card for me,
Oh,
please.
sorry.
Thank you. Oh, I got poltergeist
Again.
again.
I've got no shriveling left to help, I'm afraid.
Just fiddling with these brightness things to try and get. I can get rid of all of that and make it grayscale. Don't want to do that.
But you could just dodge it because I've got some agility cards I can throw your way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do that.
don't want to do that.
And then I can get to draw a card and I might get something useful.
Alright, yeah. I'll have a play around with the live. I mean, I've done 2
So
of the
you-
live
you
streams
do
today and
something.
it was all fine.
Is it?
Yeah,
Next?
you
I've-
drew, you drew
I-
poltergeist.
Oh,
Drew
okay,
the
yeah.
poltergeist.
What have I got? It's the King's Edict. For each cultist enemy in play,
None.
none.
Yeah.
Move a clue from the enemy's location to
So,
the enemy
gain
until the
surge.
outcome of the. Okay. Rotten Remains. I reckon I can handle that.
Fine. I'm drawing the same.
No, I'm sure that happened a while ago.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have Rotting Remains, which I'm not actually that bothered about. So it's 3 versus 3.
I can give you a +1 if you like.
Sure.
Yeah, go on then.
Which is actually +2.
It can be,
Can
yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah, fine. Okay. Done. Right, so, hour go.
So, what's the plan? Do we want to try and kill that thing for 2 points? Do we want to delve too deep for 2 victory points? Or do we want to just see how close Alan can get?
I think Alan should go first.
Yeah.
And then I might be able to.
Yeah.
So if I go 1.
So, agility test
For that.
to get away from here, because you're
Yeah.
leaving a location.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an agility 4. If you fail, you take a horror and a damage.
Yeah. Now I'm at -1.
Can't do
I
anything.
reckon.
Do you want to draw some cards?
I'm just wondering if I boost it to try and make it into a 5. I might try that. So let's take 1 direct damage, draw a card, turn it into a 5. I reckon I'll then play. I'll commit dodge to it.
Yep.
To make it into a +2.
2. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay.
Done. So that was your first action, is to move away.
Yeah.
Let's pop that back in the bag.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And
Okay.
then I think for my second action, I'll probably move.
Again, same
Again.
test.
Yep.
Same test, but I probably won't back it up with anything this time.
-4.
That's a savage
Ooh,
failure.
I'm going to take a horror.
And yeah,
and
take
another
a,
horror.
and a horror.
So I'm on 3 horror.
Well, a horror and a damage for
Yeah.
moving, and then a horror because of that.
Yeah.
Okay?
And that damage is on true.
Yeah.
Great.
But now you've got 1 action left.
Yeah. Which I will probably shoot him with.
Shoot it.
And So he's got 4, I've got 5. Let's go for Reckless Assault,
Nice. What's that?
+4, but I can only play it if I have 3 or fewer sanity remaining.
Nice.
And then I'll go
3
for
or fewer sanity remaining. If you do.
Yes.
So if you're a bit crazy,
Yeah.
you
Then
can
I can
whack
go
it.
in for a Reckless Assault. And then a Vicious Blow.
And using a bullet.
And a using a bullet.
So this is going to be 3 damage if you succeed.
Yes.
Nice.
Which is still leaves him with 1 left.
You're at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you're at +6.
So minus
Minus 3. Yep. So 3 damage. Nice.
And you might be able to finish him off with your shovel pull.
I could. I was planning on running away. So you're done. Yeah, I mean, I've got this internal
Yeah.
injury.
I'll play
What does that
emergency
do?
cash.
It means at the end of my turn I take a direct damage, but to be honest, I've taken no damage.
If we could kill that thing, it would be good, wouldn't it?
We can.
Mm.
So first action is I'm going to move to here, which means I need to do an agility test to move,
I can give you a boost for that.
which would be 3. Yeah, because of your ability.
No, who
Who's
provided the
already-
test?
I think I've already used
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
This
Or was
round.
it
Yeah,
Paul who
because
did
that
it?
was on the
Or was it Paul's
Mythos
card?
phase, wasn't it?
Whose card was it?
Which is
Yeah. Whose card was it committed to? It was yours or Andy's. I can't remember which one.
was it? I gave this to someone, didn't I? Yeah, didn't I give you a plus
Yeah, you did.
for that? So yeah,
It's still +2.
still +2.
So I'm 5 against 4. What route am I in? Oh no, it's fine. I've got 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But do you want to draw a card?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll commit a card, you'll commit a card, that's +4, so that's 7. 7 against 4. It's +3.
Do you want to use Emily's ability to make it to give the?
I think I've already used it. Haven't I?
No, Andy used it. But you
Okay,
have
yeah.
You-
so I'll
since
use-
you've
I'll
put
use
a
it.
card,
So I'm at +4. Yep. So this is just for getting out.
Awesome. So I can have a card.
So my first action was to move.
Mhm.
My second action is to whack it with the shovel. So I'm 3, 4, 5.
I can back you up with 1 if you want.
Yeah. 6, 7, 8.
And then short of the tentacles.
Make it 7. Because I'm going to commit this card for the 8. So 8 against 4. Whacking it with the shovel. Yeah. So that goes. When did it appear?
When this got recycled.
Which was just this turn. It hasn't had a go as the enemy, has it?
No.
No.
Right.
Not yet.
So it hasn't had a chance to do its horror. So that's
No.
that's gone there.
Awesome.
Lots to remember in this game. Lots of
There
little
is.
bits to remember. I've still got 1 action left.
Can you? Have you got your flask out and you can start to heal some of my horror? That would be helpful.
I do.
Ah.
I do. Oh, and if this test was successful, choose a survivor card not named resourceful in your discard pile and add it to your hand. Hang on. I needed to switch roles to do that.
Yeah. Let's pretend you remember.
Yeah.
So I played that when I moved away to boost my skill. Then when I
Yeah.
got there, I switched roles.
Fast action.
and then I
switch
played
roll,
that, yeah.
And you played that.
It's fine. We're all good. So that goes into my hand. So my
Just
third
like
action
order.
is I'm going to spend a supply from here, choose an investigator to heal 1 horror,
Thank you.
and then you do a willpower test of 2.
Ah, what happens if I fail
Oh, don't worry about that.
that?
If you succeed, you heal an additional horror.
Ah.
If you fail, you lose a card at random.
Willpower test of 2.
Yeah, you okay with that?
Yeah. I'm just wondering.
Take a damage to boost it.
Yeah, whether I take. But then I'm getting very close to flipping Sophie.
Yeah.
No, Sophie's just 5 damage on you.
Yeah, but I have to take a damage. No. My ability has to be direct damage.
Oh, right.
You see.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'll take a damage. It'll be fine.
So direct damage on you to get +2. So
Yeah.
you're at 5 versus 2.
can't use the drink, it's a rogue.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you're right. Thank you. Undo that.
Well spotted, chat. Thanks very much.
Next time you remember this.
I'll put that into play.
Are you regretting choosing that?
I think I might do.
So you
got
two
one
both
action
done?
left.
I've just played that and I'm
Okay.
done.
So, do you want to go first and dodge your poltergeist or something?
Yeah.
You could just resign.
So,
Do
a question
I
on
need to dodge
resigning.
it first, though?
Resign abilities, I believe, don't provoke attack of
Oh,
opportunity.
okay. Well, I might as
I
well
think
move
so.
on.
If I play Delve Too Deep, does that only affect investigators still in play, or do we draw extra cards even for the investigators that
I'm not
are
sure.
no longer here?
Attack of opportunity, yeah. Resign abilities don't provoke attack of opportunity. And here's a question for the chat. Delve Too Deep is each investigator draws a card. Does it apply if you've already resigned? I will read up on resign and see what it says. It's basically everybody gets a bad card, but we all get an XP. When an investigator resigns, the investigator is eliminated by resignation. An investigator who resigns is not considered to have been defeated. So you're eliminated, but not defeated. And eliminated means...
Do you still
Where's
count as
eliminated?
each
See,
investigator?
elimination on page 10. Elimination. The cards you control are put in your out of play area. All clue tokens you possess put there. All enemies engaged with you. All other cards. If the lead investigator is eliminated, you choose a new one. And if there are no remaining players, the scenario ends.
Scott says no.
No.
Yeah.
What was the question?
Okay.
Yeah, what was he saying no to?
I know. What was the question?
Yeah. I think it's a no. I think if you're eliminated, you are out.
Yeah, you're not drawing mythos.
You don't draw a card.
So we draw.
You don't choose a card as you have resigned, but it goes to the victory display and you get the XP. Having others resign first is a good idea.
Right. Okay. That's what I wanted to know essentially.
So I'll just resign.
Right. So, what did it say about your enemies again?
Would you like to do a dodge first, just so I can use my manual dexterity card?
I can do.
Okay. Evade it first, or try and evade it.
I can evade it first.
Okay. I'll boost with plus
I've
2.
got 2. That's 3, 4,
The enemy will go back to your location.
4. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
I've got 0.
I feel this is promising.
Yeah.
Oh, plus 4.
Yay! So I can draw a card.
So the enemy is evaded
Evaded.
and goes back to your location, which is here. Oh, forgot about that. I left that location.
So you should take.
I should have taken a horror. It's fine. And then you resigned.
So my go, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, I think I don't want to draw any more cards until you guys are done. So let's see. What shall I do? I'll get rid of this by spending an action and
And putting a
discarding
clue on
a
it.
clue.
Yep.
So let's go on.
Let's go on.
I could have a chat with the poltergeist, try and get rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at a -1, but I can chuck in some useless cards that I'm not going to cast anymore. It'll be fun. Let's have a talk with the poltergeist. It's either that or draw cards. Drawing cards might be more useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then. Let's draw 2 cards for
Okay.
the last 2 actions.
And you're done. So, enemy phase. At the end of the enemy
Is it that
phase, that readies and engages with you.
Yay!
Any other enemies?
No, don't think so.
Okay. Upkeep phase. So we stand up, we get a card, we get a resource. Then it's the end of the round, which means
The slime.
the slime slimes. So basically, it's everywhere now. Yeah, the ooze is everywhere. That is the end of the round. Start of the next round. 1 doom on the agenda, and then we all get a bad card.
Those of us still in play.
Rick's saying you could resign. Yes, I think you did.
She has.
Andy.
I don't want to resign.
Oh yeah, Andy doesn't want to resign.
Surge. If you have at least 3 horror, which I do, you lose 1 action.
Okay.
For each cultist enemy in play.
And I should have taken a direct damage at the end of my turn.
What was that for?
My internal injury.
Until the end of the round, each cultist in play gets +1 for each clue and doom on it. If no clues are moved to this effect, gains
Yeah.
surge.
With a surge. It's going to go through the deck. Oh. Hidden cards.
Hey, more rotting remains. I'm good at drawing these.
Oh no. I'm frozen in fear.
Oh, crap.
So you take 3 horror?
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that, is there?
No. Oh, you got loads.
That's
It's a really scary big dead body.
savage.
Yeah. And I'm just frozen in fear, which is, yeah. Not ideal. I've still got enough to go 1-2 and resign.
I've lost an action, so
You've lost an action. So it's how we go.
Yeah, do you 2 want to escape and then I'll see
Yeah.
what I can do.
So the first time I perform a move action, it costs 1 additional action.
Yeah.
So that cost me 2 actions. I need to do an agility test of 4 to get out of here. I'm just going to spend a resource. No, I might as well spend all of these. In fact, I'm going to spend 2 of them. So I'm at 5 versus 4. So I'm at +1. Oh, hang on. I can't do that because I'm not in rogue mode.
You could cast
So
action.
before I do that,
Can you switch?
I can. But then I can't do this.
Oh.
Okay, so I'll switch to rogue mode and then I will spend the extra resource. So I'm at 6 versus 4. So I'm at +2. That's -3.
Right. So you fail anyway.
So I failed. I take a damage
And a horror.
and a horror,
But you move it.
but I've moved
Mhm.
and then I resign.
Okay.
Right.
I'm out of here.
So I will go here. I will take a direct damage to trigger the Sophie effect. So that gets me up to 5 agility.
Yeah.
And then I will throw this in to
For
take me up
the
to
1.
1, to take me up to 6 agility.
So 6 against 4.
So I get +3.
Awesome. So you've avoided the ooze and
Avoided
then
the
you
ooze.
resigned.
And then, yeah, because with my final action I'll resign.
Yeah.
Right.
Off we go then.
So, resigning would be an action, isn't it?
Resigning is an action.
Is there anything in there that we know of that would stop me being able to
I don't
retreat
know.
afterwards?
I don't know.
Not that I can remember.
Okay,
I mean,
let's-
you could get a load of
let's find
loose
out.
actions, but that's it.
So in player order, each investigator draws 1 card from the top of the encounter deck, and then that gets added to the victory
Yeah.
display. There you go.
Yeah, one of them.
If you have at least 3 horror on, you lose 1 action.
Yeah, that was
There
And
you
it's
go.
got a
Luckily,
surge.
I've taken the other one out.
And it has a surge.
So I'm now down to 1 action.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
hidden.
hidden.
Oh,
Hide it.
oh,
Whoops,
oh,
not
oh,
that it
oh.
matters now.
And then are you just going to resign?
Well, yes, I can't play events anymore, so I'm resigning.
There you go. We are all done. So this advances. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, we advance. Right. The stranger gives you a slight bow as he steps through the lobby's front entrance, opening a glass door that was not there a moment before. A sudden cacophony of noise erupts around you, and you fear that the building has only seconds before it is destroyed. You flee, crashing through the front doors and leaving the ruined theatre in your wake. Several blocks away, you take a moment to rest and think about what you've witnessed. The investigators must decide. We have to warn the police about what's going on, or the police won't believe us. We have to solve this mystery on our own.
We decide as a group.
I don't think the police are going to believe us.
No.
No, I don't.
I agree. However, that seems like the obvious choice, doesn't
It
it?
does.
Yeah, no, I reckon we'll solve it on our own.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy?
Okay, yeah.
Everyone happy?
Resolution 2. I'm going to give this to somebody because we're probably going to have to write some notes. In
My
there.
handwriting is terrible. Anyone got nice handwriting?
No.
Resolution 2.
Well volunteered.
Do not read until the end of the scenario. Right, if no resolution was reached, no. Resolution 1, no. Resolution 2. You think about going to the police, but considering the horrors in the theatre, they're more likely to think you're mad than to believe your story. A small part of you wonders if this is still some kind of prank, but that can't be the case. It was all too real, too terrifying to forget. Wondering what course of action to take, you find yourself backtracking over your escape route, returning to the theatre with cautious steps. The bright glare of headlights drills into your eyes and as cars pass on the street, splashing dirty rainwater onto the sidewalk beside you. Soon the Ward Theatre comes into sight, its bright lights dominating the streets of downtown. You expected the theatre to be in ruins, but its exterior looks the same as it did when you arrived to see The King in Yellow earlier that night. You walk to the front window of the Ward Theatre and tentatively peer through, but it's too dark to see anything inside. Just then, a chill brushes the nape of your neck, and you feel that you are being watched. You turn and spot a shadow fleeing around the corner. A swarm of roaches skitters across the sidewalk, following in the shadow's wake. Your muscles tense with uncertainty, and you round the corner in pursuit. Standing unconcerned on the sidewalk is a familiar-looking man in a featureless, pallid mask. His unwavering gaze bears down upon you. "Who are you?" you call out. The stranger does not respond, and instead turns and disappears into the alleyway behind the theatre. You give chase, hoping for answers, but by the time you reach the alleyway, it is empty, save for a notice on the wall near the theatre's employee entrance. Don't be a wet blanket. Come to the King in Yellow cast party, 8 p.m, at the home of Constance Dumaine, 1452 Atlantic Avenue. Formal dress only. You tear the notice from the wall and take it with you, hoping it will lead you to the answers you seek. Do you think it was wise not to warn anyone? Is just a line in there. Right, in your campaign log, record that you chose not to go to the police.
I told you we should have gone.
So
to the
just
police.
write there, we chose not to go to the police. Also in your campaign log, record that the stranger is onto you. Add the man in the pallid mask weakness to the lead investigator's deck. That's why it's got the other text on it. So that goes in your deck. For the remainder of this campaign, any time the bearer of the man in the pallid mask leaves the campaign for any reason, choose a new investigator to become the bearer of the man in the pallid mask weakness. In your campaign log, under Chasing the Stranger, wherever that is,
Oh yeah.
place 2 tally marks. For the remainder of the campaign, keep a running tally of the number of times the man in the pallid mask is defeated during a game. Each tally will bring you one step closer to the truth. So he keeps popping up, we have to keep defeating him.
Yeah.
Each investigator... Go on.
Sorry, was that curtain call?
That was Curtain Call. Yeah.
So we did resolution 2.
We did Resolution 2. Each investigator earns experience equal to the Victory X value of each card in the Victory display, which includes that one, and that
Yeah,
one,
that one.
and that one, because we got all of them clues.
It's pretty good.
Which is how many? 6?
1, 2, 3,
7?
4, 5, 6, 7.
But we don't get any default XP. It's only for that. Well, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It was good to play again.
Oh, it was fantastic.
We had some new mechanisms in play. We had the ooze spreading, which was new. We had an agenda. We had an agenda that reset,
Yeah.
which was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I had heard that they do things
Yeah.
different in each campaign.
Yeah. 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 The spreading ooze was starting to worry me at one point, but I
Yeah.
got out of there in the end.
Nobody got eliminated,
Nope.
so nobody takes any trauma.
Nope.
So we have 7 XP to spend. We can spend that between
Yeah,
sessions.
write that down.
I can get rid of the cards which... by the end of this campaign, I might have a deck which works, but this is a tricky character to play.
What does is this weakness do then?
So when it comes out,
Yeah.
it will just you follow what
Oh,
it
you
says on
swallow.
it.
All right. So he literally spawns him,
He pops up and he goes,
and then gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Carl is here, and you missed it. Yes, let's go back to this one. Right. Okay. Thank you very much to everybody for watching. That took a bit longer than we thought. Yeah, that was 2.5 hours. But we were getting used to it again, and we had to keep undoing because of my mistakes. We made a couple of rules mistakes. We did the shortcut. So shortcut is not a move action. Therefore, it doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
I cheated a couple of times, but we undid that. Your abilities are going to be a tricky one to remember because it's one investigator per round.
Yes.
Yeah. I might have to try and think of a way we can mark
Some
that
counter or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But we are done. So yeah, thank you very much for everybody for watching in the live chat. Thank you to Scott and Rick for the rules help. Hello to Carl who's just popped in. I'm going to go to bed now. We are meeting again in just under 2 weeks' time. So what day is it today? Date today?
13.
13th. Right. So 26th.
So 26.
Tuesday the 26th. We are meeting for chapter 2, which is called The Last King.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, has anybody read much Cthulhu mythos?
No.
Yeah. Very little.
And you know about Hastur and the King in Yellow?
Yeah.
Are there things you know that would spoil this for us, or would it help us? Or you're not sure?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I don't know how closely this is likely to follow.
Okay, so
anyway.
Hastur, the King in Yellow, is one of the stories by H.P. Lovecraft. Because it wasn't just Cthulhu, there was lots of old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cthulhu, Yog-Sothoth,
I
Shub-Niggurath. And as I understand it, the King in Yellow is not one of the old ones?
don't.
Or is he?
I don't think so.
No, he's not like a
He's
big...
in Cthulhu Wars as an old one.
Right, okay.
That's
Yes.
the only thing I know though. That could mean nothing.
Yeah. So anyway,
But yeah,
we
alright.
we will find out more. So the Dunwich Horror, which is the campaign that me and Emily have played, but you two haven't, that continues the story of the Dunwich Horror, or the Horror of Dunwich, whatever it was, which was a short story,
Yeah.
and that continued it. So I believe each of them is set around a particular part of the Cthulhu mythos, and this one is
Oh,
obviously
that's
set around the King in Yellow, and we will find out more. And the man in the pallid mask is something to do with that, I think.
I don't recall reading about him
Okay.
actually.
I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to read it, but after we've done this, I am going to read it. I did the same with Dunwich Horror because we were playing Dunwich, and Rob Turner, who played with us, was going, "Oh yeah, that's Watley and that's this," and we were like, "What?" And he went, "Yeah, these are all characters from that story." So I then went back and read the original story, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Some of the things happened that was similar to what happened in that, and it was a nice
I went
continuation.
through the whole of the works of Lovecraft through 2018. It's
Right.
on my reading list. So I've read all of it, but it's all kind of
It
one
blurs
big
into one.
jumble.
It blurs into one. So anyway, yes, thank you to everybody in chat. Thank you to everybody for watching afterwards. I will see you tomorrow night for a live unboxing, learn how to play and playthrough of Magnate. Friday night is Coloma, Saturday is Mage Night, and then there'll be a whole load more next week. I've got about 8 streams planned, I think, for next week. But Arkham Horror, 26th. We'll continue this campaign. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next time. And NC is that one. There you go.
Gaming Rules is proudly sponsored by Game Toppers, upgrading your gaming experience. Visit GameToppersLLC.com.